So last time you guys competed in the Tournament of Terror, spent some time in the festival of the Celebration of Succession, getting to go around, have some festival foods. Some of you competed in various games like the Test of Strength that I believe Ori did pretty well in. Got to go around and meet some of the other members of various adventuring parties, and then also competed in the actual tournament itself with 9 total groups. Boo wound up coming in 8th in the Capture the Flag, which was just enough to keep you guys progressing. And then the rest of the party in drinking, which was Raina. You had the pie eating, which was Favyon. You had the unarmed combat with Ori, and then archery with Death's Knell. You did well enough, got eventually to the point where you were able to compete in the open combat arena, and made an alliance with the Keepers going into it, so that way you knew you could try to eliminate the Golden Eagles. However, the Golden Eagles put up quite the fight, despite the fact that they only had 3 people. The 4th group that was in there, Moran's Quintet, also did pretty well. Moran in particular was the MVP of their team, firing off essentially like missiles from her combat wheelchair. So a lot happening, but eventually it came down to 3 of you, with Raina having been eliminated, and the final member of the Keepers, I believe it was Zari. No. I think it might have been Ariel, because Ariel could control her magic. Zari could not. So you were left with the 4 of you, or the 3 of you, and Ariel, and were able to defeat her, being crowned the champions of the tournament for the year. Everybody applauds as you come out of the arena. Every other competitor comes through and shakes your hand. Very like sportsman-like. Like even the Golden Eagles and the Keepers come by and shake your hands and congratulate you. And then the leader, essentially, of the Golden Eagles, Varoli, the dwarven man, Peepaw, as you may know him, just kind of comes up to all of you and he's like, "You fought well. We'll have to see you again next year." But for the most part, as you kind of come down, you're awarded not a large amount of gold. You get the sense that most of this is done for prestige more than anything else. So you essentially get like 20 gold per person. Even Boo gets a little sack of 20 gold because he was a member of the team.
Can I have a pencil?
Oh, yeah. And yeah, so I will give you guys a chance. Oh, also, everybody got healed back up to full. If you were hurt, the clerics would have come through and healed everybody. So I will give everybody a chance to just take some time. If there's anyone you wanted to talk to, if there's anything you wanted to do after the actual tournament, we'll give you a little bit of time before starting the next activity, our next scheduled event.
I'd like to go up to Moran.
Moran, yeah.
Moran.
Not moron.
I am the moron. Let's go talk to Moran.
Yeah. So she's like sitting in her wheelchair, kind of talking to some of the other members of her group. Just a reminder, it was a group of 5. It was 4 men and then her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. Blue dragonborn man, a gnome man, a tiefling, and a halfling. So a very diverse group. And she's a human.
Oh.
But as you approach and she extends her hand to shake yours, and very well done.
I take her hand, I shake it gently, said, you did phenomenal. I'm quite impressed with your device here.
Well, thank you. I built it myself, actually.
I see, that's quite interesting. I have not seen something like that. How did you come up with that?
So you would know, like, wheelchairs are not uncommon.
I'm
Like
talking about the rocket
you've seen a
yeah.
wheelchair. You haven't seen the mechanical arm off the back
Yeah.
of it. And she's like, well, I took one of your standard wheelchairs and I adapted it to fit some of my needs. I used to be an adventurer and then had an accident falling down a cave system. I did not take an arrow to the knee, as many like to joke, but I was unable to keep going and I wanted to continue being an adventurer, so I made some modifications to the chair, and our adventuring party's been as active as ever. It took quite a bit of time, I won't lie, but as you saw in the arena, it does well when it comes to fights.
That is quite powerful. Would you mind if I look at it? I will not do anything.
Of course. You see another like member of the party. We'll say it's, I don't know, Snidbar, the gnome man. He kind of like he pulls out like a tiny little box out of his pocket and like speaks a command word, and it actually unfolds into like just a normal wheelchair. And she like shifts herself over and moves into the normal looking one, and then she's able to kind of come around to the back of the combat one and just kind of explain some of the intricate mechanisms of it. She explains that she has some magical powers that she's able to channel through the chair. So just like mechanically, like out of the game, she's able to use her magic to go into it and essentially fire her magic in concentrated blasts from the arm on the chair.
That's sick. I love that. I feel like Raina's kind of like taking notes, or just like at the mechanics. Like, obviously, this is super exciting, and it also kind of, in a weird way, reminds her of like her current body, because it's also this mechanical thing that can kind of do. So I feel like Raina takes her notes. That's phenomenal. That is quite a wonderful piece of work.
Yes, it like I said, it took some time, but it's served very well. I keep tweaking with it. The boys kind of keep teasing me about it, but it's saved their asses more than once, I can guarantee you that.
Oh, I see no reason to be teasing. This is a mechanical wonder.
It's more that I keep wanting to add more to it. And at some point,
Nothing wrong.
I have to stop adding more, otherwise it gets a little too top-heavy.
Yeah, you could always take the old things off. You could do, interchangeable ones. That way, if it's not an emergency situation, you could take one, you could take the other off.
You see her brow kind of furrows a little bit, and she's like, that's a good idea, actually. I'll look into that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anything to help a fellow tinkerer.
You
Artificer.
tinker as well, then?
Oh, yes. I feel like Raina, like, takes out, like, some of the things that she's drawn, and, like, maybe even, like, the schematics of the bridge that she drew earlier. Like, I think it could even, like, perhaps we could raise it up, like, a drawbridge in the middle, and then, like, kind of the things, like, maybe part of her armor, like, about my gauntlets, and da-da-da-da, and, like, and I feel like at one point she does open her chest and, like, grab some things out.
Good.
Because I feel like it's just second nature now.
For the sake of not making the two of us sit here and talk about like mechanical intricacies, she's very fascinated by everything you're talking about, and I feel like the two of you have a very long conversation about the inner workings of your body, her chair, the weapons, like your designs, all that stuff, and you get the sense that she doesn't really know anybody else that is on her level. Don't eat the guinea pig just tried to eat her character sheet.
She says, I am the character now. I am the D&D.
Jesus. This is why we can't have nice things.
We roll for initiative. She has surprise attack.
She did.
She did.
She snatched it, man. She was so fast.
Whose character sheet was it?
It was Eurydice.
Oh, get wrecked by guinea pig.
Not the rogue getting outrogued.
There's like,
There's a little
if you
chew
look at
mark
it, there's
on
like a little chew mark in it now.
Oh my god.
in the corner of
You
it
see
there.
it?
Phenomenal.
Elaine!
But yeah, so you can have this long, drawn out conversation, and she'll tell you that she and her party are actually staying at the Sloppy Sow in town. So if you're ever interested, come by. I'd love to chat some more.
God, that must be wonderful. I'm also staying there. That must be great.
What a coincidence.
Big inn.
It's a huge inn. It is, though, you guys would know it's like the lower class inn of the city at this point. You've been around enough of the city to know like there are fancier, more expensive ones, but a lot of adventuring parties tend to stick to the Sloppy Sow because it's cheap and they're probably not going to be there very long.
Makes sense.
But
Sorry.
yeah.
I'll go up to Peepaw. And say, well, he's shaking your hand, so I guess I'll just continue the conversation from there. Sir, you have a very impressive family. I've heard many great things about your house.
Thank you, I appreciate that. They're quite impressive. He kind of looks at his daughter, son-in-law, grandkids, and just... I'll be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect. I hadn't met my son-in-law before the wedding, actually. So, he's turned out to be quite the good lad. Even though he's a little older. Elves are weird.
So when was the wedding?
10, 12 years ago. You also like looking at the kids, like they are older than the number he gives.
Noted. And when do the kids get to participate?
Law in the city says that they could participate once they turn 18.
Mm.
And it's an odd thing trying to regulate age for races that age differently. I personally have never known another half-elf, half-dwarf. I'm not sure exactly how fast they'll age, how fast they'll mature, but they're doing all right. Yeah, because they're 16 and 14 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if I can find their names. Hang on, please hold. Ezalara, the girl, she's got 2 more years and she'll be able to compete. Perk's got a few more. But you fought well yourself in there. I was very impressed.
Appreciate it.
It's been a long time since I've lost a fight.
I'm sure. I've heard great stories. I've seen the newspaper clippings of your glory.
I'm glad to know they're still making the rounds. Sure. Anybody else have anyone they want to talk to before?
I want to talk to Galanadel.
Okay, you can talk to Galanadel. The keepers are all kind of like also in their own corner, kind of like checking on each other, making sure they're all okay. You walk over to them, you can see that Zari is just like, she's like, I think we could have won if I could just get my magic to do what I want it to do. And Ariel's kind of comforting her, just like, no, we did fine. Second isn't bad. We came in third last year. We keep going at this rate, we'll win next year. And Zari's just like, I don't know if that's how that works. But as you approach, they all kind of like look your way, and they're all. Galanadel probably speaks up first. I want to congratulate you. You did a good job. Obviously, we're disappointed, but we're glad to see that it wasn't the Eagles that won this year. Get some new blood in there.
You guys did pretty good yourselves.
We always do.
So, fire, huh?
Yes.
What is up with that?
Well, you see, it's one of the elements.
She just like looks at him.
And everyone else would know too. Druids they're not unheard of, but druids do tend to be pretty rare. Given the fact that most of civilization lives in cities, like the wilds are not commonly inhabited, so the groups of druids that do exist are very few and far between.
So
is that just in cities, or is that like they're more common outside, or are they still not as common outside?
They're very like finding a druid in a city is super uncommon. And there is a few like little enclaves essentially of druid, I don't know the right, like colonies that exist out in the world.
Kind of like in Baldur's Gate 3.
Kind of, yeah. But they're very much, people are very confused by them because they're not, like, they don't live in walled off cities, so they're typically more out in the open, which is incredibly dangerous. And so the fact that a lot of these enclaves exist and, you know, don't get demolished by some monsters running through is impressive. But he would explain this. I've gotten quite used to fire. He kind of like glances at the rest of his party, and you can see, well, you know what? Make a roll for me. Make an insight check. We can roll some dice. I don't need to give you things for free. Don't let her eat it. The pig's gonna eat your character sheet again.
14.
14. When he like, you catch his quick glance to the rest of his party, and as he starts mentioning the fire specifically, you see Kaleem especially just kind of like a very quick flash of like a wince on his face. And Galanadel continues, I had a bit of an incident when I was younger with fire. Terrified me at the time, but I've come to see it as just another part of nature. Things grow, fire grows, it needs to feed to survive. It's a part of life. A dangerous part of life, but one that is less dangerous if you can control it.
I suppose that makes sense.
And it helps that I have others to help temper the flame sometimes. I lost my head slightly in the arena, but don't get quite as angry as Kaleem. Kaleem just like just grunts. I don't lose control quite as much as Zari, or honestly even Ariel sometimes. And you see Ariel just, hey. And luckily we've got Margot's waves to cool off any fires that may get started. But I'm impressed that you noticed. Very few do.
I have to be observant.
I suppose that's a good thing. In your line of work, adventuring is difficult.
Sure. She's just gonna walk away now.
Okay. As you're walking away, you hear of like Zari very quietly just like, she's really weird. I like her. Is there anyone else anyone wants to talk to? Ori, is there anyone who caught your eye?
Who the guy that she wrestled with? What group was he a part of?
He wasn't part of a group. He was just someone hired for the event, essentially. So he would have been in the audience for the last fight. He would still be around if you wanted to talk to him. He was, I believe, he was a half-orc man, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, for some reason I thought we were.
No,
like,
because
the teams were like.
Yeah, because of the fact that it was like a relay race, you couldn't compete against another team because you'd have to like wait for someone else to show up. So they had people waiting to do the unarmed combat.
Okay. I guess,
You could still talk to him, Grace.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, would Ori go looking for him, or would she just sort of like hang out and observe everyone? And I'm thinking she probably would. She'd just sort of like watch everyone interacting and sort of like.
Would it depend on where in the stands he is? Because like if he's in like the front row.
Lena's just trying to get Grace to flirt with someone.
Yes.
I think if someone
right here. Are we looking you up with someone? Favyon's great at this. He's already talked to basically all the teams. Like,
Yeah,
saying, oh, you put up a good fight. I really liked how you did this, how you slid that way during the capture the flag. That was really, really cool. All that stuff. So if you want to talk to anyone, he's just making the rounds.
I think if someone came up to Ori to talk to them, like she would try and make a conversation, but I don't think she would seek it out. She's very much a like watching from the sidelines sort of person, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well,
Do you want to be brought in from not the sidelines? Is it like, you know how some people just need that like bridge? Do you want the bridge, or do you like if Favyon came over and was like, "Come on over"? Would she be like?
I feel like she would step over to the conversation, but wouldn't really join in. She's very much a wallflower, which I feel like is very. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it other than she's like me, where she kind of like follows the one person she knows and just sort of talks to them, but doesn't like really interact with people unless someone like approaches her. And even then it's sort of awkward because she doesn't quite know how to like interact with people. I don't know how to explain it.
You like me for real.
Yeah, she just like me for real.
Okay. Well, for the sake of that, then at some point, Favyon, you could get into a conversation with the half-orc man that Ori did defeat in the unarmed combat. He didn't have a name, so we can come up with a name for him if we want. Let's see.
Kevin.
Not
Half-orc
Kevin.
name generator.
Devon.
Cassian.
It's Kevin with a Y and a C.
And an A.
Oh God.
What?
Kevin.
Kavananen. How about
Kavananen. Yeah. Go with Kavananen.
That's horrendous.
You know he's
He's
a frat.
hanging out
though.
Rash.
name right now with you.
Okay.
Third to last
All
one.
right, sure.
He's a creepy
Lena
habit.
picked the name. His name is Hararash.
Spell that.
Okay.
Harororash. Hararash.
Harara.
Hararash.
Harara.
Nina.
I'm a linguist.
But he
It
would.
kind of sounds like a potato hash, like some you eat in the morning.
It does.
Like some southern dish, Hararash, yeah.
Yeah, you had got that Hararash on tap.
Ooh, also does sound like a venereal disease, yeah.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, sir, you got Hararash.
Safety.
God damn it. But he would
That's
come
what
over
weird
to
is.
Favyon because he would. I think he would notice Ori just kind of like being off by themselves, and go up to Favyon and just be like, "It's quite the group you got there. Everyone did well in
Yeah,
their
I think-
events."
You did as well. I enjoyed watching you fight. You're a great fighter.
Enjoyed watching me get my ass beat. He like nods over at Ori. She's a hell of a fighter. Based on everything I saw in the arena, looks like you all are too.
Oh, thanks. She's sort of a wallflower. Do you want an introduction?
I mean, I won't say no. Any woman who kicks my ass is good in my books, so...
Great, come on over. Hey, Ori!
We're dragging you into this grace.
This Parash, you guys, you've already come to arms together, so now come to words. Have a great time.
He just dips.
You're coming already. You already beat each other up. That's great.
It's like second base already, man.
I love that Favyon is like a complete 180 from Monty.
Yeah, it's as if Maddie, as a character operator, is trying to expand her bounds.
I love it. You're doing a great job.
You are doing a good job.
For me.
Hararash would, like, again, extend his arm, shake your hand, if you'll shake it.
Yeah.
Just, you did very well. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Haven't really seen you around before, though. It's very odd to have newcomers win the tournament.
Yeah, I guess so. We just sort of were thrown together, in an unfortunate way. But yeah, I guess it worked out.
Happens to a lot of adventuring groups around here. Well, I won't take up too much of your time. I know a lot of people are probably dying to see you. The winners usually get carted around a lot, so... If you're interested, though, I'm usually around town. I work on the night watch, so... If you're ever interested, need a sparring partner, just let me know.
All right, I will keep you in mind if I ever need that. Thank you.
Of course. And he'll, like, not fully bow, but just, like, tilt his head slightly and just enjoy your victory while it's still fresh. And he kind of, like, walks off.
Gonna do a little, like,
wave.
Thanks. Yeah, like the awkward, like, okay. Oh, God.
From, like, Favyon didn't travel too far during this conversation, but, like, from a little bit of afar, he'll, like, do double thumbs up.
The very hesitant thumbs up back.
Like the toothless meme. Why did you just set off fireworks? What just happened
Grace,
on your
what
screen,
is happening?
Grace? What was that?
Discord, why would you do this?
I didn't know Discord could do that. You just put a thumb up and fireworks happened. What the hell?
It's not working for anybody else.
It's not even working for Grace
It's not
now.
working for me again. I don't know.
It's just
What?
Hold on.
that was wild.
That's really weird.
So what?
Why are we making all of a sudden?
How are you doing this?
There's an option. There's an option for sounds down here. You can do like.
Hold on.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Oh god. The benefits to technology. We love it.
What is this?
So that's stuff that's in other Discords that I'm a part of, but I don't have access to.
Me too.
Yeah.
There's only 6 sounds.
Yeah, we can make our own sounds and add them to Discord, so all I'm saying, future.
Oh no, I made Nina big on accident.
Why you like this? You made Nina big, she says.
Yeah, it's just
Okay. Anyway. You guys have, like, we'll say it's like 30, 45 minutes of just people coming up, congratulating you, a lot of conversations happening. And eventually a member of the guard would actually approach and would kind of try to gather the 5 of you, Boo included, and just come over and congratulations on your victory. We'll say it's just like an elven woman. If you have the time, King Ter would like to speak with you.
Who is the guard coming up to? Because I feel like we're a little spread out right now.
I think like they would probably wait until the crowd has died down a little bit, and probably just wait until everyone's mostly together. Maybe you have to like gather one additional person who's out and about. It's probably Favyon. But
Yeah.
yeah.
A golden retriever.
Exactly. But if it's all right with you, whenever you're ready, I'd escort you to the castle, and you can meet the king.
Well, when the king calls, we answer. Please lead us to the way.
Of course. And she'll start leading you through the city. And again, at this point, the crowds have mostly died down. You can see that a lot of the like after effects of things, like shops and everything that was set up for the festival, is starting to kind of be torn down, since this is the last day of the festival. And you walk for quite a while. You get up to the gates that are in front of the castle itself, and you watch as the guard approaches and like pulls a key off of their belt, like unlocks the gate, puts it back, and leads you through. And then once you're through, they actually shut the gate, and you watch them again pull their key out and like lock it behind you. And she's just, "This is your first time in the castle?"
Yes.
It's. I understand the locking of the gate can be a little intimidating for those. We just like to make sure nobody slips in after us. You're obviously not trapped here at any point. If you want to leave, there's a guard, and she like points. There's literally like 2 guards on either side of the gate. They both have keys. They can let you back out. But we've had people concerned in the past. Locking things makes people nervous.
Have you had those issues before?
Of people being nervous, or of people trying to slip in?
Slip in.
Yes, unfortunately. The Dusk Roses have gotten a little bit more brazen in recent months.
How?
She's like still walking, so you're like walking and talking. She would explain they typically would only operate at night. They've started to operate a little bit more and more during the daylight hours. And I imagine that the castle is kind of the peak of what they're looking for. There's probably quite a bit they could steal from inside there, and we'd like to keep it safe as much as possible because, well, you can see she like hesitates a little bit. She's like, "You didn't hear it from me, but the Roses have gotten a bit more aggressive lately. They've taken jobs to hurt people, and we'd like to keep the king safe as much as possible. We don't believe that she's under danger, but we have to assume that she is."
Can I roll an insight check? I was going to say I wanted to do it on if she was being truthful about the Roses actually wanting to steal stuff, or if the real reason is because of the king's safety.
Sure. Make an insight check.
Oh, baby! First roll on this dice. That's a natural 18, 21.
Jesus. You get the sense that both things of what she's saying is true. But the emphasis on the not wanting the king to get hurt is probably where like most of the focus is.
Do you know why they have become more brazen lately?
We're not sure. I imagine the king has more information than I do. Captain Roar probably as well. I just kind of do what I'm told, go where I'm told. But she's gonna keep walking. Does anyone have any other questions before we just kind of get to the king?
Can you describe the surroundings?
Sure. So the castle itself is set in like a little gated, walled off area that abuts right up to a mountain. So the castle itself is like fenced in on 3 sides, and then there's a mountain as like the 4th wall, essentially. And the front is like very nice garden area. It doesn't look like there's a lot of greenery, but the ones that are there, like there's a couple of flowers here and there. There's a couple of like small trees here and there that are very well taken care of. And you would also remember from previous conversations with people, like wood and trees are very rare. So the fact that there like are a couple of trees here is very much a sign of wealth. The castle itself is made out of like the same dark gray, almost verging on black stone that the mountain behind it is. And the gates to this castle, pretty much everything is like stone. There might be a little bit of wood thrown in as like bracings on doors and things like that. But going in through the front gates, you come into like a very nicely decorated hall. It's not like, I'm trying to think of the word, like it's not very
Opulent.
yeah, like it's decorated nicely. It's decorated nicely, but it's not like there's a ton of very fancy paintings, and it's not like there's a, you know, diamond chandelier and golden thing. Like it's nice, but it's not lavish, essentially. And moving through the halls, it's got the same like color decorating, so it's very like gray and red tend to be the two big colors that are used. There's quite a few guards littered about. You see several servants as well, people dressed up almost like butler style, and that are moving about, some carrying drinks, some are just kind of moving random things. And you eventually are taken to another room, and the doors open to this one, and you see quite a large like garrison, I guess, of guards. There's like 6 guards in this room, kind of just scattered relatively randomly, and there is a large ornate desk right in the center of the room, and you see the person sitting behind it on a chair is a woman, a halfling woman with dark brown skin, black hair kind of like tied up into a bun on the back of her head. And she is wearing very nice, like ornate red robes with like gold filigree on them. And you can see that she doesn't seem to be carrying a weapon, but she does have like a staff on her back, but there's like a small little crystal on the end of it. And she looks up as you come in, and she's got these tiny little, like the reading spectacles on her nose. And you come in, she looks up from the book that she's on. She's like, ah. And she pulls her glasses off. She's like, the champions, welcome. And she slides off of the chair and drops to the floor. And she's quite short. She's about 3 feet tall. And she comes over to you and will shake everybody's hand. And you see that there is no, like, stir at you guys coming in. And in fact, I'm going to ask everyone to make an insight check for me real quick. Okay. 4 for deaths now.
13.
13.
10.
Okay.
19.
19. Okay. So,
Ori sees everything.
yeah, so for Favyon and Ori, you get the sense coming in that, like, you notice that the guards didn't, like, bow or kneel in front of the king, and you know that in a lot of cultures that is the norm.
Yeah, Favyon was going to do that,
Mm-hmm.
but then she came over and shook his hand too fast, so he couldn't. So
Gotcha.
he did. You could see he feels very awkward
Yes.
that standard protocol is not being followed.
Yeah. And she just kind of, and I think she probably notices that. She's like, are you okay?
Yes, of course.
Well, welcome to Pyrrhus. I take it you haven't been in town for very long. Well, congratulations on your victory nonetheless. It's very, very uncommon to have newcomers win. It's actually hasn't happened since the Eagles rolled into town 3 years ago.
Oh, is that right? I was just having a conversation about them, with them about their past victories.
Yes, they've proven themselves to be quite powerful. We're very lucky to have them within the walls of the city. But
And why did the Eagles come to the city?
they're searching for adventure. Why does
Like
anyone?
most other.
Yes. Why does anybody come to the city? Really? I'm hoping, not that it's a bad thing, mind you. I am hoping to change that a little bit. I'd love to get more permanent reasons for people to come here. It's nice to have a large city, but it's even nicer when people settle down and stay, which many of our adventuring groups tend to not do.
So is it rare that the group like the Eagles have stayed so long?
Not uncommon. I mean, most of the groups they're here for some time. The Eagles they've spent some time within the walls, but a lot of their adventures will take them elsewhere as well. I mean, they're currently trapped here based on the situation with the bridge, which, from what I understand from Captain Roar, you've also assisted with. So I appreciate that as well.
You're welcome. It's, we were curious as to what could have gone on since we came into your city in the unorthodox way.
Yes, well, a lot has happened, and I actually had a favor to ask you related to that. You see, she gestures at one of the guards in the room, and the guard nods, and then you watch as he just clinks his shield a couple times, and every guard in the room leaves. And the doors shut behind them as they go.
Oh. Okay.
And she goes back to her desk and sits back down. Noticeably has to step up to get into the chair. And just kind of sits there and takes a second, looks at each of you in turn. There's been a lot happening in our city recently. I'm sure you've heard of the Dusk Roses since you've been in town.
We have.
And they're getting a little bit more open with some of their activities. When I first took over several years ago, they were petty thieves. They might steal from the random shop. They might pick someone's pocket occasionally. It was never anything big. Then they started stepping up some of their bigger crimes. They started hitting the larger shops. They've started focusing in on more wealthy individuals in town, getting into some of the more well-protected areas of town and still remaining unnoticed. And then just several months ago, they have started becoming violent. They have assassinated several members of the nobility. There was a theft at a shop that went wrong, and a shopkeeper was killed during the incursion. They've become less concerned about death. And it is becoming a concern to me and my city. Since... go ahead.
I asked one of the guards earlier, do you know why they've started to escalate? Is it new leadership? Or...
The best I could assume is that it is new leadership. We know that the previous leader was ousted. We don't know who took over, because almost as soon as we got the information that the leader was ousted, all of my informants wound up dead. And we have since lost our connection to the Roses. So I attempted to send a few more guards in, and I'm not sure exactly what happened. Maybe it's the training the guards receive, but they were very quickly outed as members of the guard. But that brings me to my favor I would like to ask of you. You all are new to the city. You are not guards. I don't think the Roses would think twice about you joining them. I would like to find out who their new leader is. And if possible, and safely, I would like to meet with them. The Roses are not an organization we necessarily want within the city, but I also don't want to risk bloodshed in the streets. And I know that this can be a lot to ask. Asking you to infiltrate a criminal organization never comes without danger. But I ask that you earn their trust and find a way for me to meet with their leader. I give you whatever leave you have to do the things that you need to do, but I do ask that you not kill anyone for them. Obviously, this is what we're trying to avoid. And the reason that I had to send my guards away is because they cannot know. They cannot treat you differently than anyone else who would commit a crime. Otherwise, the cover could be blown. As for your youngest member, and she like gestures, because Boo is also here.
Yeah. I'd ask.
I would not ask him to put himself in harm's way. And Boo kind of speaks up a little bit. He's like, I'm not much of a fighter, but I'm very good at being unseen. And she is just, I understand that, young one. And I thank you for that. But I think it might be a little suspicious if all of a sudden the Roses are hiring children. They've never done that before. I don't think that's going to start now. So, if you wish to help, maybe just keep an eye on things for us. And you can see he looks a little disappointed, but he is like, yeah, I can do that. That makes sense.
Perhaps, Boo, you could keep an eye in the sloppy cell. You know, there are things going on, and perhaps the Roses are doing things there. You could always keep an eye out there.
I can do
Or
that.
perhaps you could train with the guard, and if word gets around in the guard that, might relate back to us, you could tell us about that.
You see him, he looks up at the king, and the king's just, if you would like to take a trainer from the guard, that can be arranged.
What'd you say?
You see him kind of like, you mean they could like train me to fight? And she's, if that is what you would like, yes. It's a bit, you are a bit young to get started, but it's not unheard of that we have those your age learning the basics. And protecting yourself is never a bad thing. And he kind of like nods, and you see him like, yeah, I could do that. But she'll continue, and just, if this is something that you would be willing to do for me, I would greatly appreciate it. It is not mandatory. I understand if you do not wish to take this risk upon yourselves, but As the king of this city, I would appreciate any attempts to keep my people safe.
It would be an honor.
I thank you for that. If you should need anything, you can get in contact with me. You can leave a letter with the captain of the guard, Roar. But I think that if you are attempting to infiltrate the group...
I know, I see her.
She's going to eat your character sheet again, bud.
She's not. This is Gwen, not Elaine.
But if you would like... I think that it would be best if we not have face-to-face contact after this, just to be on the safe side. But I will happily respond to letters.
Do you have an idea of a venue that you would like to meet the Roses? I'm not sure if you would like them here, but I'm not sure where would be safe enough for you, especially if you don't intend on bringing your guard.
I certainly intend on bringing my guard. I would expect the leader of the Roses to do the same. I fully anticipate it being a very tense meeting. But most likely the safest place to do it would just be in the hall of the castle. The, entrance hall. One that my guards have much access to. One that, if people are willing to meet, we could meet there. And if you find a safer place, I will accept that as well. I know we could meet at the guards' barracks. I probably should not go into any of the inns in town. It's hard to judge who in there is with me and who is with the Roses. But I will leave that to both your discretion and the leader themselves. I imagine they will not want to come to my castle, so we may have to find an in-between.
Understood.
But if you are willing to do this, I will of course reward any information you can provide. Is there anything else that you need at the moment?
Perhaps the best place to start would be with the Roses. You said you've sent people in before, so you must know some information on how to do that.
A little. Unfortunately, not nearly as much as I would like. The typical places that we would send our infiltration before have been mostly shut down. I do not know who this new leader is for the Roses, but they have done an incredible job of stopping my guard at every single point. Typically, we send people down to the lower end of the city, where some of the less affluent population tend to live. They tend to do a lot of business there. The inns are also big hot spots for a lot of this activity. There's random locations around the city that tend to pop up and are places that our informants have been sent before, but when we go back, there's either nothing there or no evidence that anything ever was there. So I imagine that if they are around, there's a chance that they're connected into the sewers of the city. There's a chance that they're connected into some of the buildings within our walls. There's unfortunately a lot of places for people to hide. So Lena's on the phone. I didn't want to disturb her.
Well, thank you.
Yes,
We'll do our best.
As much as I hate to suggest it, I mean, if you commit petty crimes, there's a chance they may contact you. as much as obviously I don't want to suggest that people commit crimes within our walls, you may have to do what you have to do.
Let's do what we're going to have to do.
But how you get in touch with them is up to you. I unfortunately do not have many suggestions outside of, like I said, committing petty crimes. You could ask around, maybe. Maybe just dropping their name would be enough to get them to contact you. It may also incentivize them to send assassins after you, though. There's really no way to know.
Do our best.
We do have those missing people notices with the thieves' cant. Do we think that could be them?
You see, she like kind of scowls a bit. And she's like, I don't know thieves' cant myself. I haven't heard of this. Has there been thieves' cant written on the notice boards?
We believe so.
Then that could be a place to start. I mean, I can't promise it's the roses, but I can't imagine you would want to keep information hidden unless you have something to hide. So, what do you guys want to do?
I mean, I think we're all in agreement that we're gonna do this. Do we want to like head back to the Sloppy Sow to kind of talk about where we want to get started with this?
Yeah. Yeah.
The King Tear, she'll come back over. She'll once again shake everybody's hands and just thank you again in advance for anything that you can do to help the city. I know this is a lot to put on newcomers, but since you've been here for such a short time, I can safely assume you're not already members of the Roses.
No.
No.
Yes. So, if you need anything, speak to the guards. They can get information to me. But like I said, I probably shouldn't see you again until this mission of yours is complete. And
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
And she'll just like go over and like knock on the door, and you hear like a key rattle in the lock, and the guards come back in. And the same female elven guard that escorted you in will come over to the five of you and just, I can take you back out if you'd like. And she'll start leading you back out. She'll take you back out through the courtyard and once again unlock the front gate. But she will.
I feel like as we are leaving, Favyon would go to bow, but then he remembered that they don't bow, so he kind of does like a half, like, sort of trip stumble thing.
Good. We love it. Yeah. And the guard will kind of leave you at the gate, and you're left to your own devices once again.
Well, shall we go to our home this evening?
Home base. Okay. You guys can very easily make your way back to the Sow. And at this point, it's like pretty late in the day. The tournament would have happened like mid-afternoon, so now you're maybe like 6 o'clock roughly.
So I guess, I mean, when we come in, can we do a perception check, see like what's going on?
Sure, if you'd like to.
10. Jail.
I mean, Death Snell rolled a natural 1, so.
Oh,
I only got a 13.
Ooh, baby. Ori?
I think we're all just distracted by the offer from earlier. That's my excuse.
Perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's a dirty 20 somehow.
Perfect.
Oh, damn.
I think it's because I'm rolling on the bed.
You never.
I've got my
Oh,
I've got my dice tray on the bed, so it's like angled.
That's alright.
I don't know.
You
They're
weren't.
showing up now. They'll be crap later. Whenever.
You weren't expecting your barbarian to be the perceptive one.
No.
But yeah, so you come back into the sloppy sow, and you notice that a lot of the adventuring parties that were taking part in the tournament are in here, so the place is packed. And a lot of people are celebrating. There's a couple of adventuring parties that are celebrating just like making it past the first couple of rounds. And then the Devious Discourse, the band, the all bard party, who got eliminated in the very first round, you see they don't seem upset. Like, if you look at them, they look like they're having a phenomenal time. Like, they're all just like drinking and laughing, and like they're also all kind of like messing around with their instruments. And even though they lost, they don't seem like devastated by it. Everybody in here seems to be having a pretty good time. Notably, the Golden Eagles are not in here. They are pretty much the only party that is not in the Sloppy Sow at this point. But a very active, very raucous crowd of just celebrating and enjoying the last couple hours of the festival. There's a lot of mingling between the adventuring parties. You hear a lot of like, hey, you did really well in this event, and oh, thanks, you did well in this one. And it seems very friendly, despite the competitive atmosphere earlier. So.
I figured the Raina will look at Boo. Are you hungry? Would you like something to drink? And sit down before we talk.
Yeah. So you can grab dinner for everybody. It's roughly dinner time.
Yeah, I'll get everyone some food.
Favyon's loving life, loving the party. He's going to spend most, if not all, of his winnings on buying drinks for the crowd and like all the other participants, going like, "You did such a good job! No, you're so great."
This is Favyon's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can very easily do that.
Table to table, like just carrying drinks, but who wants them?
You get a lot of
that money.
Yeah, so a lot of cheers as you like bring drinks and things. You get a lot of people like, clap you on the back, shake your hand, like telling you good job, congratulations, all this stuff. Occasionally you get like very specific compliments from like there's some fighters in there who are like, hey, I like your technique with the sword, the shield, like very specific compliments on like the way that you fought and the way that you moved. One person in particular is like, yo, you ate that pie so good.
She ate.
She ate. He ate.
He ate, literally.
Yeah. And it's almost like when you first walk in, though, he made. When you first walk in, it's very much like the like cheers where like someone walks in and everyone's just like, hey, because everyone at this point recognizes you as being the winners of the tournament. They're very focused on like, congrats. And despite the fact that Favyon is buying everybody alcohol, everybody else is buying you guys alcohol. So at no point do you have to pay for drinks tonight if you wanted them. Which doesn't affect Raina, but...
Favyon's getting sloshed.
Yeah.
And he'll also ask around, like, why the Golden Eagles aren't there. This is their usual MO not to show up.
Yeah, you would get the sense that they usually don't. They usually
I had
just...
the feeling.
Yeah, they usually don't. They're not, like, anti-social, but you get the sense that they kind of stick together as a familial unit more often than not. So...
up at the barns, I'm gonna yell, play the lyre man, like the piano man, but what? I don't know what instruments they're carrying.
Yeah. Free bird.
I guess they have a lyre. Free bird.
We went back to the inn.
Okay, I was talking to my grandmother. That's why I was yelling.
Yeah, I gotcha. No worries. But yeah, so the band will start playing Lyre Man. Not to be confused with Piano Man. We'll see how they do. It's not good. It's pretty bad. I rolled a 4. They're hammered. They are wasted at this point because being the first ones out, they've had the most time to start drinking. So they've been drunk like all afternoon. So they're like missing keys and like they're off tune and like all of this stuff. And eventually at one point they just skip an entire verse of the song. And people like were singing along and they get to that and they're like, wait, that's not how the song goes. But even when it's done, even like everyone's like, that was not good. Everyone's still just like, yeah, like cheering. You see them like some people tossing gold coins up at them. You watch. Here, let's pick one of the members, shall we? Let me find my notes. We have Lissari, the satyr woman. You watch as she has like a little bag and she's literally just like catching coins that are flying at the stage.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Get your money.
Because she's also like noticeably the one without an instrument. She just sings. So she's like catching all the stuff and also singing at the same time, which makes people throw more coins, which makes her speed up the process a bit. But everybody genuinely seems like they're having a good time. At some point you see people starting to compete in like their own little games. Like you see there's a card game that's happening at a table. There's like arm wrestling matches happening. There's a couple of people who are betting on who can drink more than the other. So if anybody would like to participate in any competitions, you can.
To the drinking one.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Favyon will just be cheering on everyone else.
Okay.
He'll still be drinking, but just like not competitively.
Okay. Yeah, Raina, you can participate in a drinking competition pretty easily. I will say, as soon as you go over, you see a couple of people who are at that table who, like, some of them were in competitions earlier and some of them weren't. They were just maybe watching. But you come over and you just hear, like, oh boy. And you sit down and they're just like, we're gonna lose, aren't we?
Probably. I will only play once.
Okay. You see everybody puts like, we'll say there's like 5 people, they all put 2 gold down.
I'll do the same.
Alright, and I would say make a constitution saving throw, but you technically do not have to. You can very easily just kind of drink everybody else under the table. And you can collect an extra 10 gold pieces winnings from them. And you see the last person to give up gets like 4 ales in, and it's just like, oh my god, you drink like a machine.
You're funny. I'll give him 5 gold, and I'll only take 5.
Okay, he'll take the 5. He's just, thanks. And he just like passes out on the ground. You see his friends like roll him on his side. He'll be fine.
Okay, if you say so.
And you're just not drunk at all.
Nope. Good job. Good try.
Yes. One person like slaps you on the back, and you're just like a boom, like a loud clang, and he's just like, "Oh, your armor's very strong."
Ah, thank you. I added some things to it myself. I feel like at this point, I know I'm not drunk, but you mentioned my armor, so I feel like Raina just starts talking to this man about her armor and like her machines, like the things that she needs.
You see, he's like trying to pay attention as best as he can, but the brain's not processing most of what you're saying.
I feel like Raina does not even care. I think this is the most, like, besides when she was talking to Moran earlier, I feel like this is the most Raina's ever spoken. It's just like...
Understandable. Yeah.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Mostly because I don't see it written down. What did we win from the tournament? Because for some reason, I don't...
You got 20 gold each.
You got 20 gold? Okay. I don't know why I don't have that written down.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a like prize on the line more than pride. And also the fact that like every past winner had been contacted by the Oracle and people want that to happen to them. So
Fair enough.
Yeah. And so people are just kind of enjoying their time. Anybody else want to try to compete in anything? Participate in any competitions or games? You want to arm wrestle Ori?
I feel like she wouldn't go looking for it. But if someone said, hey, I bet you'd kill at arm wrestling, she'd be like, I mean, you want to see?
Easy.
Sure.
Favyon is going to be like, Ori, she's so strong. She's like, look at this, whoa, look at the arms. I bet she could be anyone at arm wrestling. I couldn't take her on.
You hear like a very gruff voice from the back, just like, anyone. And you see Kaleem stand up. Let's test it out, shall we?
All right. Well.
So, all you gotta do is just make a strength check. Just roll a d20, add your strength modifier.
Okay. Oh, Lord.
You can do it.
That's a 15.
I got a 17.
Damn.
So, it's a very close match. You watch as like both arms like back and forth, and eventually he just like barely gets your hand down. And you definitely see like a little bit of sweat on his brow afterwards. And he's just like, he's like, you didn't win. Well, it was definitely the closest arm wrestle I've ever had.
I'm tired. It was a long day.
Oh, I believe that. But he'll like hold up his ale and just, congrats, by the way. And he'll like, cheers.
Thank you.
And he'll just down his drink. But the night continues on. Everyone just pretty much partying until pretty late into the evening. I don't know if you guys plan to stay the entire time or not. But eventually it'll hit like 2 o'clock in the morning and the bartender just kind of starts to like shoo people out the door. Like, all right. Time to go home.
By 2 a.m., Favyon is up on stage with the bards singing Freebird.
Hell yeah. Make a
We're saying back and forth and shit.
make a performance check, Favyon.
Oh, hell yeah.
How good is
Can I
it?
use my T30?
I'm waiting for a terrible rendition of Closing Time at the very
Oh
end.
my gosh.
30-20.
It's a 20?
30-20, yeah.
30-20, okay. You kill Freebird. It's phenomenal.
Soulful.
Soulful. Lots of cheers and applause, and people are like, Favyon.
She's loving it.
Yeah.
He's gonna do like the mic drop, like Thank you all. I'm out. As he sees everyone else going back up to their rooms.
But yeah, and then everyone can, of course, go back up to their rooms. I'm assuming it, like, Boo probably retired a little bit earlier than 2 a.m.
Yeah, Raina probably took him upstairs. Like, it is too late for Boo.
Yeah, you can see he's like exhausted. He's like, no, I could stay. It's fun, and he's like falling asleep, going up the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, she just carries him and puts him in bed. Came back down.
Yeah, he's like asleep before you even get out of the room.
I'm sorry.
Baby.
But yeah, and then everyone eventually the bar closes down. Everyone goes back to their own spaces. Is there anything anyone wants to do before bed?
I'm passing out.
Yeah,
I'm
really
out. Hi.
Okay.
I think Raina's just gonna, double check, make sure everyone's good. Like, I feel like Raina is just like, okay, make sure Favyon's on his side, goes and checks, make sure everyone's like okay before she goes back to bed.
Yeah.
For France.
I think people are very drunk. You'll definitely have to make a con save in the morning for a hangover if you were participating. But otherwise, everyone can go to sleep in their rooms. Right? Are we good?
No funky dreams.
Are we good on the sleep?
Yeah.
All right. So everyone falls asleep, including the robot. And I need everyone to please make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, sweet
I'm sorry,
Jesus.
not Constitution, Wisdom.
Okay.
Everybody make a Wisdom saving throw.
Are you sure? You're sure not Constitution?
I am
we
sure.
could go to Constitution.
19.
What the fuck?
Okay.
11.
Okay.
13.
What did you get?
Everybody fails. Even the 19. And you all drift off to sleep. Raina, you don't sleep necessarily, but you like put yourself in that like low power state essentially.
Yeah.
And for everybody else, it feels like you just like wake up. For Raina, it feels more like you're looking at the room that you are in 1 second, and then you blink and it is completely different the next second. And you look around, all of you, and you are in what looks to be like an artist's space. You see each other. Boo is also with you. And it's like a very cluttered space. Like you see, and it almost looks like there's a ton of art projects that are not finished. There's like a painting in the corner that's like a landscape, and it's like partially painted. You see like a tapestry that's got some extra bits hanging off of it. You see a sculpture that's missing like some limbs. It looks as though whoever might live here just kind of bounces from project to project.
We love an ADHD girly.
And you hear a very calm voice. Just, welcome. And you all turn and see, emerging from like, I'm literally picturing like, the 70s, like the beads that would hang down in a doorway, like pull like through there. You all see a figure. Noticeably, the figure that you see surprises you. Raina, you see Ivan. Favyon, you see, is it Faerun?
Yeah.
Ori, you see Elena. Is that how you pronounce it?
Elena.
Elena. And then Death's Knell, you see Orpheus in human form.
Is the crow still with me?
Yeah, Crow's with you.
Bird Lord!
We don't know that though, do we?
No.
No, nobody knows that.
We don't know what everyone. Yeah.
You only see
Okay.
see what your character sees.
That's
you
crazy.
all see this one individual as an important person from your life that you know is not here. And the voice coming out of their mouth does not match the person that you know. And it's hard to describe their voice because I can't do the voice that I want this character to have. But it's very much like, it's difficult to tell like anything about the person by the voice. It's not noticeably masculine or feminine. It's not loud. It's not quiet. It's just kind of, it's like a mix of everything, if that makes any sense. So it is very much impossible for me to do that voice. But this figure, whoever it might be to you, comes over and just, welcome to my humble abode. You may know me as the Oracle. It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Please. And they like gesture. There's a small sitting area with some couches and like a little chair. Please have a seat. Would anyone like any tea?
I'm good, thank you.
Sure.
Death Snail, do you want any tea?
She is just staring.
Okay, sure. Well, 1 cup of tea then, I suppose. And the figure will leave. And they're gone not as long as it should take to brew a cup of tea. They like go back through the little beaded doorway and like 10-15 seconds pass and they come back. And they set down a tray. And there are 6 cups on it. Even though Favyon was the only one who said he wanted one. But I made a little extra in case anyone changes their mind. Congratulations, by the way, on your victory.
Thank you.
How much do you know about me?
I'm afraid to say not much.
You see a smile creep across the figure's face. Good. That is typically the answer that I expect.
What flavor is the tea?
What flavor is the tea?
It's a great question.
Chamomile.
The one I can't spell, thank you.
CHAM.
Oh, mile.
O.
I got it, thank you.
Okay.
Chamomile.
Chamomile, yeah.
Chamomile.
Yeah. Chamomile. Yeah. What were you going to say, Grace?
I was just saying completely unrelated, and this is a throwback to our last campaign. Do we think that Camille the Camel has a brand of chamomile tea?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
That just popped in my brain, and I went, yeah.
Yep, 100%.
Camille's chamomile.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Yeah, and so they will just, well, first off, like I said, congratulations on your victory. Second, I thought you might have some questions. I already know a little bit. I know that each of you don't quite understand why you're here just yet. But I know that you've all shared a dream. Is that correct?
Yes, this is true.
Even the young one here. Young Master Buhong.
Master, you say?
It's a polite term to use. You're gonna critique
yes.
every word out of my mouth, aren't you, Maddie?
In notes, babe. Yeah. Explain what you mean by. Yeah.
No, it is simply a polite phrase. My dear Raina, you're on an adventure of your own, are you not?
Yes.
Yes. Looking for, and they like gesture to themselves. Looking for someone.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I wish you luck on your journey. And as I'm sure you know by now, it will not come without danger.
No, but did not expect any less. Thank you.
Yes. When you see the Red Terror, let him know I say hi.
I will do. If she could swallow, like it
Yeah.
would just be.
Favyon, you're also on a bit of a journey to find someone. More yourself, though, I believe.
I believe so.
That journey is harder than most. It does not have an end, as most do. Finding a person is easy. Finding yourself is difficult.
I believe I'm still at the beginning of this adventure.
I would have to say you are correct. But stay close to the people that you see before you. You may not know it yet, but they will be helpful. Eurydice. That is the name that they will use.
I feel like we.
Your journey is similar. Less in finding yourself in the way that Favyon's is. More about finding answers. I imagine that the people that you surround yourself with, and they'll like specifically gesture to the bird, know less than you think. As for Orpheus, and they like look directly at the bird.
She's kind of like clutching the bird now.
That's fair. There are things that you must do to right the wrongs that you've made. And my dear Io, there is much in your life that is going to change, as it already has. All of you are searching for something. Searching for answers, for reasons, revenge. It would be helpful for you to get to know each other a little bit more. For while you may not see it quite yet, you're all together for a reason. Each of your individual journeys are entwined with each other. They all lead to the same place. Even Buhongs. And they like kneel down. You also have no idea what Buhong sees. You do not know the figure that Boo is seeing at the moment. But they kneel down to him. I think the king's offer to start training you will be good. You will need to be stronger before the end. And they'll stand back up. I understand that many of this may come as a surprise to you. Most of you have not told others the things that I'm telling you. There will be many difficulties ahead in your journeys. I would like to say that you'll all make it to the end, but I can't promise you that. But I ask that you do something for me. And in exchange, I will answer one question for each of you, of whatever you would like.
I feel like Raina, like, does like a slow nod.
I do not need an answer now. But you have already been a part of what's going on with the Ashfields. There is more to it than you know. There's more to it than anyone knows. And it is entwined with your goals. And in fact, for some of you looking for a person, 2 of you are looking for the person who caused the Ashfields to collapse. It is not my job to tell you which 2. That's something you must figure out for yourselves. The answers that you seek lie in the tunnels below the Ashfields, as does the key to fixing it. So, my offer is that you fix the Ashfields, put them back to the way that they were, right the wrong that exists in this world. Maybe find a little bit more of yourselves along the way. And then once you've done that, we'll speak again. But of course, I do not expect you to do this if I offer nothing in return. I am happy to answer a question for you now, if that will ease your mind.
Only one question?
I will say one
For the group?
one for each of you, if you so choose.
Any question?
Any that is within my power to answer, yes. I know a great deal.
I think I will hold my question for now.
I understand.
Is this the one question that we would get at the end?
I could offer another.
And if we decide later we would like to ask our question, how do we do that? This is not my question. This is...
Wouldn't that suck? Treat it like a wish
Damn.
spell. Just immediately start
Yeah.
fucking with you. No, if you wish to ask a question in the future, just think of it as you go to sleep. Or rest, in your case.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being inclusive.
Out of game, just let the DM know before you go to bed if you have a
figured,
question.
yeah.
But
Okay.
much is going to change for you all. Be prepared for it. But as for what specifically will happen, I do not know. There are two paths that your group could take. One more successful, but no less dangerous. The other much darker. Now, is there anything else I can help you with before I let you get back to your rest? Same.
I'm not sure. This is much to take in. I don't think I was prepared to have this conversation asleep.
Few are.
Where do we start with the ash fields?
You've already found a tunnel. There are many, but they do converge on a single location.
How will we know that's the location?
The closer you get, the more dangerous it will become. There is a laboratory of sorts in the center. You will know it when you see it.
What are we going to find?
That will depend on what you seek. And as much as, and they again look over at Boo, as much as you are not ready, you will all need to be there. I appreciate you using your one question for that, Favyon.
I said I was holding my question. First of all, if you said anything else.
Oh, that's fine. I'm just teasing.
I was gonna say, even if he did accidentally use this question, which sort of seems like something he would do anyway, he wouldn't have regretted it.
Yeah.
Because he would feel like it would keep his party safer to ask.
Understandable. Well, take caution. It will not be a short journey. And you have much to do before then. It is not something that needs to be done tomorrow.
Thank you.
Of course. Good night. And you all, like, blink again, and you watch, again, this figure that is, for all intents and purposes, representing someone very close to you, fade away. And you all wake up in the morning despite the heavy drinking. No hangover.
Look at us go.
And you're all back in the sloppy sow.
Yeah. Real quick, as I get up, I'm gonna switch my specialty from Guardian to Infiltrator.
Okay. Pick your thing too. Raina, in your room, Boo wakes up as well.
I picked insight and I forgot to use it.
Good job. And he just... Did you also have that dream last night?
Yes, I do not think it was a dream.
Okay.
You okay?
I want to start training with the guard. I think that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
I think this is an excellent idea. I think that would be good, and then we can go see. Perhaps we can get started on that day.
Yeah.
So, like, Raina goes over and kind of gives them a gentle hug. I feel like she's also shaken.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot kind of going on. I think one of the big things on her mind is which one of our Raina's gonna assume, because she saw like Ivan, that it's gonna be other people's like loved ones or people they care about in some sense. Probably incorrectly, but she's gonna make that assumption. And I think she's worried if he has something to do with it, but also the big thing that kind of sticks with her is the fact that she will see the Red Terror again. So that's fun and spicy. Fun.
Okay.
But I feel like maybe after a minute, she's gonna go and check on everyone else.
Understandable. We can just kind of say, for the sake of it, everybody kind of meets back up. Did you want to meet up in someone's room? Or do you want to go into
I feel
a
like-
public space?
Favyon's gonna need a minute to cool down after seeing Feyrin, because that was very unexpected and sort of raw. So he's gonna go downstairs and grab some breakfast.
Okay. You can, very easily get breakfast. We'll say that you don't even have to pay for it. There's enough people down there that are still aware that you won the tournament that they'll comp your breakfast for your team. Anybody else?
Go down to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think Ori probably is gonna spend a lot of time in her room trying to figure out how much everyone else heard, and like how much everyone else was aware of, and like what do I do if they ask? What do I do if what do I say? Do I act normal? Like, so I would think that they're probably one of the last ones to come down for breakfast, probably.
Okay.
I feel like Eurydice is just gonna have a good cry. And not bother with breakfast, to be honest.
A quick question, just to, for my curiosity. Do you cry out of one eye or also the skull eye?
A great question, Zach. What is the answer?
That's a character choice you get to make, bud.
Probably both.
If both, is there like one ghost tear? Like how...
Ooh,
does
that
that
could be
work?
fun. Like a spectral tear.
Yeah,
Ooh.
like one normal and one spectral tear. That'd be fucking cool.
I like
That'd be
it.
sick.
Let's do it.
Fun and spicy.
I'm sure that won't come up at all.
No.
No.
furiously jotting down notes.
Notes, yeah, because that's a really
Spectral
cool
tier.
idea. That seems like a prophecy-esque idea.
Okay. So, Favyon goes down with to get breakfast. Do you eat down in the inn, or do you take it back to your room?
I think I'll eat down at the inn because he doesn't want to process this alone. So instead, he's gonna push off his feelings and talk to the bartender and just eat a
Understandable.
plate full of eggs.
Eventually, Raina and Boo probably come down as well. After some time, Ori would join. Eurydice doesn't go down.
No, probably not.
Okay.
I mean, she might eventually just to like find the party, but she probably wouldn't eat anything.
Okay. That's fine. So for the sake of ease, we can say you're down there, just not eating.
Yeah.
Okay. Drying off your spectral tears.
Do you wear the mask when you come downstairs?
Not at this point. No.
So can we see that one eye is sort of like red and puffy and the other eye is just spooky?
Yes. But she would be like actively trying to hide it. Also, she would have the crow like in her arms, which she doesn't normally do. Normally the crow's just sort of following behind her.
But we did hear everyone's stuff, right?
You heard everything the Oracle said.
Fucking bird lore. That's all I'm worried about, baby. Bird lore. Meet with Oracle. We did it.
You did do it.
We only
Nice.
have
Go do your thing.
one thing left on the to-do list, but we did get a couple more things added.
I'll say, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I figure y'all can take this time if you want to RP with each other, given everything that just happened.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then we can move on. That is up to you.
Maddie, you're muted.
Sorry, I got a call. And then
you're
we
good.
immediately hung up. It was Ty. He was like, "You're playing," and then
That's hilarious.
So I think we can agree that was maybe not the way we intended to meet the world.
No, not at
Oh.
all.
Look, I'm just gonna throw this out there. You know, I was not prepared. So we can talk about it now here if we want to go back upstairs. But you know, if there's things that you want to tell the group, that's great. But I also understand we all have our own boundaries, and I would not want to cross that with someone if you're not ready to share something with the group. I just think that I think we can acknowledge we are all are intertwined, whether we want to believe it or not at this point. So we can talk, or we can take some time to decompress and figure out the next steps forward. Looks like we have a lot on our to-do list. More has gotten added, and I don't think these things are going to be quick necessarily. I think we need to be strategic in the order that we pursue them. That being said, if we want to go upstairs and have a more private conversation, we can do that as well.
I definitely think that needs to happen at some point. I feel like they understand the need for privacy. I mean, I think that is normal, but I do agree that we are intertwined, and perhaps things need to be discussed, since we are going to be running into some old friends. And that is best we be prepared. At least I know in my case.
Okay. I mean, you guys can easily go up to someone's room.
Yeah, I feel like that's the best.
It's in Raina's room.
Yeah, it's got a brand new window.
Yeah, the extra seal type, extra lock. They are.
I like how Raina says da and yes, or yes and da. I love it. I love it.
It's it stays over. It took a long time to learn how to talk like this. So yeah, I feel like we go up to the room. Raina's definitely checking, making sure, like, things are airtight. Assuming everyone else is coming up as well. I don't want to just be like, we're going up.
Yeah, I think we're going up. After I make sure Boo eats his required amount of eggs.
Oh god. The child's gonna hate eggs.
He does it, but he's not a fan.
Oh man.
We need to get some ketchup for this child. Hot sauce.
Go vegan on us real fast.
Oh. Yeah, I don't believe in eating animal products. No eggs for me anymore.
Raina doesn't believe in eating. Period.
Correct. No, we're talking about Boo. Boo is gonna go vegan on us real fast. Yeah. That's very sad. So I feel like once things are secured, I think Raina is gonna sit down and kind of sighs, which, robots don't usually really do that. Kind of looks around and says, well, would anyone like to share something first? Or anyone have any questions for anyone? Because I know I have a few. I know that the person I saw was a loved one of mine. Was that a similar case for you?
Yep.
I think Eurydice probably nods too. She's on another phone call.
I was gonna ask a Eurydice specific question, but since Lena's not here, I was gonna
hang on for a second. I got you. Yeah. I don't want to answer for her.
Exactly. Yeah.
I do not want to pry, sorry, but I'm going to. The Oracle referred to you as the EO.
Yeah.
EO. You do not have to answer, but that is not the name we know you by. That is all right. That people change names. It's just a curiosity.
It's the name I was born with. It doesn't fit who I am right now, and I guess I wanted a fresh start. I think maybe once I'm more comfortable, I'll give permission. But for now, if we can, since most people know me right now as Ori, I'd like that for now.
That is what we will call you.
But maybe one day. I was encouraged when my last party split up. I was encouraged to be more open. It's been tough. But I think that's I think the one thing for now.
No, thank you. I appreciate the honesty. Being open is not easy. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. That must have been difficult.
Yeah, I haven't haven't used that name since I was a kid, so it was weird. I mean, not really, because the person I saw is someone who has called me that, but it was still weird. So
Unsettling hearing another voice, because I know the voice I heard was not.
no, Yelena, she's my sister, really. She did not sound like that. No.
My husband also didn't sound like that.
Maddie.
You can't just drop lore like that and not expect some notes to be taken. Raina, if I get this right, was your husband's name? I don't know if I'm still kind of delusional. Was that the Red Terror?
That is not my husband. That is in my past life, I was a soldier for a long time. A scout, more specifically. We came across the Red Terror, which, as his name implies, he is a large red terror, an ancient red terror, large dragon named, was it Caraxes?
It's Caraxes.
Caraxes. He has, killed my best friend, and then attacked my village. So, the promise of seeing him again is not one I look forward to, to say the least.
I'm sorry to hear that from both of you. That sounds incredibly difficult. And I'm just on a journey of trying to find myself, which does not seem nearly as difficult as what you two are going through. So if there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know. We are one team here, and though we haven't been traveling together long, I care about you. You are all like family to me at this point, and if we are going to be staying together for quite some time, we should do everything in our power to raise each other up.
I think this is a good idea, but do not sell yourself short, Favyon. Self-discovery and dealing with yourself is honestly one of the more difficult things in life. A lot harder than, like the Oracle said, finding someone.
Yeah.
But I will help you find your someones.
If we can help you find yourself, we will be there for you as well.
I appreciate it. What about you, Eurydice?
She is not back from her phone call yet.
I was gonna do the little cricket noise.
Oh yeah. I still have an audio clip of Zach saying that he has the might of a bear. This is from circa 2017. I wonder if I could upload that into here. That would be wonderful.
I bet you could.
Phenomenal.
I bet you could.
You have a might. You have the might of a bear.
Wasn't that like your ringtone for a while?
I got it on a Yeti mic too, so like the audio is crisp.
That's
I'll have to
phenomenal.
find it.
That is phenomenal.
Oh. But yeah, hopefully everything that the Oracle said was both cryptic and made sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
it did also have a question.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the group again. Sorry, Zach.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll go fuck myself.
She said that two of our people, then I know I am searching for one. And I am assuming, Ori, perhaps you are as well, searching for someone?
I would say that my journey maybe is a little more like Favyon's, I suppose. I don't
Oh no, that's
drift at the moment. So it's
I fear the answer then. That if I know I am certainly looking for someone, then two of our someones. Isn't that what she said? Two of our people?
Two of you peeps.
Well, here's the thing. The bird is also an option.
That's what I'm saying. I think no offense to you, Orpheus. Who I'm assuming is also here.
Yeah, the bird's here. Yeah.
But I think, and I know I am searching, and I feel like her eye, like you can see like the light that is like her eyes kind of casts a little down at Boo, but she doesn't say anything because like I'm assuming like she's sitting probably on the like next to Boo, so like he would not see, but that the other party members would. That she looks at him, that perhaps some of the people we are looking for, like she said, are, the cause some of our problems. I would hope it's not my husband, but I do not know.
Who's to say?
Well, let's carve a chunk at a time that we talk to Eurydice, because we have questions for her. But since she's not here and jumping ahead,
we can backtrack.
Yeah, I think that's a good transition. No, you bring up a good point, and like I said downstairs earlier, I think we do need to be strategic about how we go about everything that we have to do. In my opinion, and please anyone speak up if you disagree or agree or have other ideas, we probably don't want to be too well known as we go into some of the forces of the Dark Roses. I feel like if we discover anything major or have a major impact in the ash fields first, that we would be too well known to commence the work that the king has asked for us to do.
I also agree, and I also think that the ash fields need to wait, because I do not think we are strong enough. And
I agree. I think we need to prepare more. Have the right equipment. Maybe do a little more research. If there's tunnels everywhere, like the Oracle said, maybe there is an entrance that is significantly closer, maybe a little safer.
Yeah.
It may not be a one-day adventure as well. So we're going to have to make sure we have rations and light, all the things applicable.
I will look into things that I can make, as we go on. I can do more research. I can talk to Moran, and perhaps we can find things to make things that can help us be stronger. But I agree with you, Favyon, this will not be a quick journey.
And I am afraid to ask others to help because I don't want them to wind up like our comrades in the field.
I mean more like asking her for ideas of things that could help us. Maybe she stays here, but things that could help us.
Of course. I think the more brain power we can get, the better. But before we go poking around too much, we may need to take care of the Dusk Roses.
I agree, because we do not know. It worries me that this new leadership could perhaps have to do something with the ash fields. Perhaps there is something or somehow an influence. We do not know, but I think it would be better to stop whatever it is here before we move on. I agree. Ori?
I had a thought. And maybe it's too easy. or maybe more complicated, but what if the Dusk Roses and the Ash Fields are connected?
Yeah.
We don't know where they are. We need to explore the tunnels. I suppose it'll all come together if that is the case, but it just... I don't know, it seems almost too convenient.
And yeah, we do not know how long, these creatures with the mouth sewn shut have been in the ash fields. You could be very right that perhaps there is something to it.
Yeah,
But
I mean, considering how just sort of suddenly violent they've become, maybe they've aligned somehow. I don't know. It just... Yeah.
so there's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Whew.
So how do we want to start?
I think first Boo should perhaps go to his training. The way he will be learning, well taken care of, and we can focus on what needs to be focused on.
I'll turn to Boo and say, how do you feel about going to train? It's an excellent opportunity and not most others get it, but if you have any major feelings against it, I would like you to voice them.
He would just... He also seems very overwhelmed with everything at the moment. But he would just... I mean, I would like to be able to defend myself. I usually just kind of have to run away from scary things. So I think it would be good.
And you can be our inside man just to make sure that nothing goes too wrong.
Yeah, I can do that.
You're the perfect man for the job.
He very awkwardly salutes.
I'll salute him back. Well, the day is young, but I know the guards are already up. Would you like to take a quick trip over there? Let everyone get ready for the day. I'll drop you off, sort of explain to the captain. Unless, maybe the king has already sent over word of your arrival. We'll get you set up.
Sure, yeah.
So I can go with him, just take him there if you guys have something else that you want to do or prep for. Or if you guys want to go to the library or something first, I can meet up with you there.
Okay, all right. Well, adventure time for Boo then, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can very easily make your way to the other side of the city. When you get there, they are already expecting Boo. It seems like the king had already sent down some word. And you see there's already... you meet up with Captain Roy and he kind of leads you down. There's a little training area and you can see some guards that are fighting against little practice dummies. There's some in the corner that are sparring with each other. There's also just people exercising. You can see people doing push-ups. There's a weights section probably. And so they come down and a younger guard comes over and he's maybe a 19, 20-year-old human man. I was assigned to train Boo, right? And Boo looks up at him. Yeah, that's me.
What's your name, good sir?
That's a good question. I don't have a name for him.
You knew.
You're not gonna have a name for the person who's gonna be taking care of my boy?
No. Name generator. All right. Here we go. Ready? What kind of name do we want? We want a male name. Sure.
Jason.
Hello.
You say Jason?
Yeah.
Some of these names are bad. Why do they all start with an H?
Jason.
Oh.
Jason Harulo.
Jason Derulo. Oh, begins with. Got it. No, it doesn't matter. Prioritize. Doesn't matter.
Okay, now
Flavor zombie. What?
Flavor zombie.
Flavor zombie.
What is happening right now?
Submit.
Is that a family name or?
Family name. His name's Kyle.
Yeah,
his name's just
awesome.
Kyle. His name's Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
Kyle what?
Kyle
Kyle Swordman. Kyle Guardsman.
Kyle Kyleson.
Kyle Kyleson.
Son of Kyle Kyleson.
Son of Kyle Kyleson. I'm Kyle Kyleson the third, actually.
But you just call me Kyle, because Kyle Kyleson is my father's name.
Please, call me Kyle. Mr. Kyle is my dad. The G is silent, thank you.
There's a G?
The G.
Kyle with a
Is
G.
Is it Guile or Kyle?
No. It's spelled Guile, but it's pronounced Kyle.
What is happening right now? I leave for 20 minutes.
This is the guard training boo.
Okay.
His name is Kyle, but it's spelled with a G.
Pronounced like Kyle.
Where is the G?
It replaces the K.
Okay.
It's spelled Guile, but it's pronounced Kyle, because fuck you.
Kyle.
The L and the E and the Y.
It's
it's just G.
4 G's.
But it's pronounced Kyle.
But it's pronounced Kyle.
God.
Kyle Kyleson.
It's almost as bad as my cousin naming her son Ryle.
Oh,
We hate that.
Wait.
Ryle.
like actually?
More like
Yes.
Weil.
Yes, his name is Ryle Kanan.
Gross.
I knew a David Davidson. It's funny.
One of my ex's older brother's name was Peter Richard.
Oh no.
We love a good dick.
Don't you just love when parents hate their children, like clearly, like from birth?
The dick is sort of like the can.
No, a dick is an animal.
It is an animal.
It's like a weird little mouse thing that's like really
Yeah.
chunky and round, but with teeny tiny little stick legs.
Same.
Have you seen?
Testicle, you know?
Yeah,
Have we seen what?
What?
Dune, the second Dune.
Not
Yeah.
yet. Not yet.
Okay, well they do have a small mouse creature, and it's apparently a powerful name. So maybe Dick is the most powerful of all names.
Could be.
Could be.
Because it was all Shahad or something.
Yeah.
Maddie.
Jesus. Anyway. Yeah, you can drop Boo off with Kyle.
We have to
Guardsman
rewind in
Kyle.
time.
Yeah, we
To
do have to
talk-
rewind in time.
Okay. Yeah. So now that Eurydice is back, we did an RP session while you were gone. So now you're on the spot. Congratulations.
Oh no.
All right, squad, do your thing.
So that's no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess it's not your real name.
Correct.
Maybe it is a real name. Would you mind if we called you Eurydice, or are you not comfortable with that?
That's fine.
Favyon, do me a favor. Where did you say you were from?
We didn't name the place yet.
Okay. Make a history check for me.
Okay.
Ooh.
18.
18.
Yeah.
With your noble background, Eurydice is not a common name. You have heard of people called Eurydice before. One in particular that comes from a noble family, and died unexpectedly.
When did they die unexpectedly?
Several years ago.
So we're talking like within 5 or 10 years, not like within 50, 100, 200 years?
I think it was like
Okay.
3, roughly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we decided on.
3.
Got it. I will not share that information, but I'm not sure if anyone would notice other than Eurydice, but something does click.
Okay.
I feel like she would catch the
click.
Yeah, the change in expression.
It's very slight, but yeah, you would notice it. So, what brought you on this path?
I want to find answers, and I wanted to be as far away from home as possible when I did it.
What was that first part? Sorry, you cut out on my end.
She wanted to find answers, and she wanted to be as far away from home as possible.
What?
If only 2 of us are looking for people, and 2 people are the ones who caused it.
That was going to be. We don't know yet,
You don't
so
know.
let's ask some follow-up questions.
True.
What answers are you looking for?
It's complicated. I don't know how this happened to me. I know that my husband was involved somehow, and that changed him as well. But other than that, I know nothing. I don't even remember how I died.
Would I know how she died?
I think
Or
with
would I just know of her death?
I think with an 18, you would know that a member of a noble family named Eurydice passed from illness.
Okay.
What it was never public knowledge, but you would know
Got
that
it.
it's an illness of some sort.
So I wouldn't know, if I would know she wasn't killed in battle
Yes.
or
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking for your husband? Did he change in the same way you have?
I suppose that's a complicated question. She's gonna grab the crow and put him out. This is Orpheus.
If by chance, do you happen to be married to the crow?
I mean, I was married to the crow when he was an Eladrin.
Okay, I was going to ask, was he always a crow?
Pre-crow.
It was pre-crow. It is complicated.
So,
Love knows no bounds. We are not here to judge.
Love wins.
I feel like Raina kind of looks at Orpheus and says, I know you can't talk, but was this some great powerful magic that caused this to happen?
The crow just and nods.
I wish I could talk to you. I have many questions.
Oh, trust me. Same.
Oracle did speak with him. Or I'll direct it to the... Fabian's a little awkward about how he doesn't know who to direct this, if it's to Eurydice or to the crow. Like, he's just kind of looking in between them. But the Oracle did speak to him, you. So there is a way to make contact, but
So
what did the Oracle mean?
I
by
have
writing
made
the
many
book?
attempts to speak in depth with the crow. The crow, Orpheus, he understands us, and you can talk to him. He cannot speak back in anything other than crow language and nods and gestures. We tried to speak with animal. We found a wizard on our travels, and that did not do anything.
Have you tried letting him write?
Can you write?
He like holds his wings out.
Use your feet.
Or what we could do, I could write out the alphabet. We could hold it up, and he could peck at things to spell out words.
Bird Ouija board.
Not
Not the
Ouija
Ouija board.
It's just a thought. It could work.
It's not something I've tried before, so I would be open to it if you would build a board for us.
I mean, it's easy. We write out the letters. He poke, poke, poke. We write down letter, he poke.
You get one of those
And there we
like
spell.
the buttons that people use with their dogs and their cats to have them talk. Like, what Orpheus want? Orpheus want snack.
Have you seen the one dog who has the
Bunny?
button?
Oh no. Have you seen the bitch one? Bitch.
There's a guinea pig that people have given like the buttons to named Millie. And Millie likes to press for dinner. And like lettuce and treats.
Phenomenal.
That's what the dogs, we had to take away that button from Dumble and Tucker because that's all they pressed.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
That tracks.
I feel like Raina's getting out her notebook and she's gonna sketch out an idea for a typewriter.
Jesus. Sure.
The crow can peck the keys. This idea, I feel it.
But
I
I
would say in
mean,
my bones, but I don't have those.
I think he wants to communicate.
He like nods.
I have limited sympathy, but I also feel that being trapped in a crow body must suck.
It is not fun being in a body that is not your own.
He also has a tendency to attack every man who tries to talk to me, which is less than ideal.
Well, I mean, if she's not talking to them, I mean, there's your husband. Like, I do not know how this works. I should not have said anything. I don't understand the relationship.
Yeah, and then also to get Eurydice caught up on what happened while you were gone.
Okay.
Raina has a husband.
Okay.
The Red Terror is a Durgan.
Oh.
Favyon is finding himself.
Well, we got that.
Yeah. Ori still goes by Ori, not Io.
Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
Why Ori, not Io?
I guess the blunt answer is they don't trust you guys enough yet.
Fair enough.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like Raina will now, like, because I meant to do this earlier, but, like, I think this is good. I think she's gonna look at Boo. Boo, do you have any other questions or concerns?
No, I don't think so. I think if you want to tell me things, I'm happy to listen, but you already kind of know everything for me. I just want to find my parents.
Could I ask who you saw?
There's my mom.
I figured as much.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just confirming the theory that we all saw a loved one. Crow, Orpheus. Did you also see a loved one? Was it your wife? There she was before? Where she is now?
He nods.
Oh. Okay. Cool. Interesting.
I am mildly offended that it is not how I am
not
now.
Current Eurydice.
Interesting.
Given that the changes that I've gone through are not just physical. We need that board really badly.
I mean, I can start working on it. I could tinker in my spare time.
I would appreciate that.
No. Only 200 gold. No. I kid. No gold.
For you,
Maybe.
300.
For the bird, 5.
73.
The bird is a noble, so...
The bird is a bird.
Does Ari... Wait, sorry, not Ari. Did Eurydice...
Word.
Did Eurydice say that out loud, that the bird is a noble?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting. That is good to know.
So,
No?
in terms of
guess-
what's next,
Yeah.
we've got a lot on your plate. I know you guys are talking about wanting to do the roses. Do we want to end our session there and give you guys some time to think about what we want to do for the roses? Or do you want to take some time to talk about it now?
I'm okay with whatever.
Because, do you guys have a plan?
I don't.
I'm gonna say that Favyon's pretty against doing petty crime, because that's opposite of how he was raised, but understands that we do have a rogue in the group.
I'll commit a
Or
petty
if
crime. I don't care.
If we were gonna do something bad, right? We could if a business is going under, we can accidentally arson the building so they get the insurance money,
Oh, there you go.
I'm not
Do
sure
crime.
that that's how
Oh, good.
morals and ethics work.
Says the rogue.
I am well studied in morals and ethics. I just
Yeah.
don't subscribe to them. You do what you have to do.
Then that is what we have to do, and if that is what helps Favyon do what we have to do, then we can do it. I don't know. I do agree. I mean, depending on what the crimes are, but we could do a little arson or pickpocketing. I think perhaps we need to think of what crimes would get their attention.
You also were told you don't have to commit a crime. You could, in theory, just try to, find out information, and then they might try to recruit you, but they might also try to kill you. Either way, you technically would be able to speak to a member.
I think that I am very recruitable.
mean, technically, I have already been scamming people. I do drinking contests. I do not drink. I win the money. It's a minor crime. Bish.
That is technically a minor crime.
Ah. Raina, #1 criminal.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I feel like it's not a crime, it's just unethical.
What separates a crime and ethics?
Laws, probably.
Laws, yeah.
Who decides the laws?
The government.
Who decides
the
the
government.
government?
The king.
Who decides the king?
Kind of the keepers.
Who decides the keepers?
Margot.
Really?
We all know who the real leader of the keepers is.
Sorry.
Lena, don't Go ahead, Nina.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Galanadel may be the face, but we all know he's a simp for her.
Duh.
Doesn't he have negative charisma?
Don't ask questions.
How can he be the face?
I don't know. He's the one who
Why
does
is
all
it
the
always
talking.
the face with no Chris?
He's like if Favyon was bad at speaking.
Literally, yes. He's this group's Orsic.
I know, I was thinking that the entire time. Why is it the ones that are bad at speaking be the ones who are speaking?
So what do we want to do? What's the plan?
Well, do we want to perhaps try looking for them first? And if that does not work, commit crimes?
I mean, we know that they're in the sewers.
Ugh,
Maybe they'll appreciate the ballsiness of just going and knocking on their door.
It's a 50-50 chance. If only we could have like a business or someone like in on it and we could like rob them. But then, you know, in reality, we know it's not the real robbing. But
You could talk to
You
the
know.
shopkeepers. See if anyone's
Yeah.
willing to let you do it.
Feel
but
like
we
it,
also do not know which shopkeepers are in with them.
Accurate.
that's my concern as well.
We could be real ballsy and attack, like talk to the guard captain and be like, "Hello, can we steal some things from you?" Because most likely, guard captain will not be in with them. But I think that could also be too high of a crime.
Yeah, but didn't the king also not want us, the guards, to know that we were...
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Wrote that
I
down.
mean, I suppose if you wanted to go the business route and you wanted to be careful, we could go around asking about like what sort of influence the Dusk Roses have on business and like pretend it's as if you were going to set up a business. It's
Ah,
research.
that I you know what? I could be one setting up. I do make things, make wares.
Yeah, because I
Could disguise myself.
I think
It's
that's a
not a
really
lot.
good idea, Ori.
yeah.
I feel
Out
like
of game, my thinking is like the Dusk Roses are like the mafia, so people are paying for
Yeah.
protection, sort of a thing.
That's what I was.
getting. Yeah.
like Raina could be setting up a shop and Favyon could be her like financier
Yeah.
and you two
Could
can
be.
go and ask around.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if I do open up a weapon shop, eventually we could perhaps or some sort of shop. I'm pretty sure a criminal organization would like to have nice new tools that could be used in crime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
Do
we have
we-
options.
Do we want to? I mean, I suppose it's splitting the party, but do we want to do both things at once? Have one group sort of ask around the businesses, and have another sort of try and figure out where everyone's based.
Did we follow up on the thieves' cant?
You have not.
Not yet. That's the only thing on the checklist from before we have not done.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that that's something that the Roses would be aware of or know something about.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering, if they aren't the ones who did it. Like, put the thieves' cant up. At least they... Because the king seemed really surprised when we mentioned it.
Yeah. But I have not mentioned it. It just
No, this
No.
was a good, I think it was a good idea.
just
I think
very-
that was helpful.
yeah. I don't know.
We have options.
Do we have options? But it's up to you guys.
I think we should split the party, and Raina and Favyon can go and talk to shopkeepers, and Eurydice and Ori can go poke around.
Okay, we can do that.
Fabian, what do you think?
Sure.
All right. Which team wants to go first then? All right.
Just pick
Ori and
one.
Eurydice then,
Oh,
since nobody wants to make a decision today.
I
So-
mean, Favyon can go first. That I don't care.
Nah, it's
Yeah.
fine. I already threw him under the bus. So
Fine then.
So for Ori and Eurydice, what exactly are you planning to do?
Ori, did you have a specific plan in mind?
Not really. Like as far as the initial idea, and then hadn't really.
Well, let's go into the sewers and see if I can find any more thieves' cant somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Sounds good.
Okay. So just roll a general investigation check then.
Oh, 7.
Okay. Ori.
Investigation. Where's my investigation? Oh, okay. That's a 15.
Okay. So you both find an entrance to the sewers, which is not difficult. They're kind of all over the place. And you get down there, and it's very cramped. Like, it's very small quarters. It does not smell great. But wandering around, you don't really see anything out of the ordinary. I mean, there's like little scratches on the walls that imply that maybe like there's little rats down here. But you don't find anything like thieves' cant on the walls. There doesn't seem to be any noticeable doors or anything that would lead somewhere. It just seems like you're run-of-the-mill sewers.
Can I, like, press on some of the bricks
Sure, you like press on bricks.
and pull on them?
Sure. Nothing really happens.
She's gonna look at Orpheus and be like, do you see or sense anything? I don't fully know what you're capable of in this form, even still, so...
He like shakes his head no.
Alright, well...
I am gonna use my magic awareness that I have, which means that I'm opening my. You open your awareness to the presence of concentrated magic until the end of your next turn. You know the location of any spell or magic item within 60 feet of you that is behind. No, is behind total cover, but whatever.
Okay.
I don't know.
Roll a d20 for me. Just a d20. Don't add anything to it.
All of the rats are magical.
Yeah, you right.
A 19.
19.
Yeah.
You've been walking in the sewers for quite a while up to this point, and you really haven't found much of anything. And eventually you're kind of like, I'll try the magic awareness thing, see if there's anything magical. And as you do so, you actually see what essentially looks like an invisible like bridge going over the center of the sewers where like the sewage is running through. And you see it go to the other side, and you see like a magical, like an outline, like a square on the other side of the bridge.
Interesting.
But it only lasts for 6 seconds, so you saw it, and then it just poof is gone again.
Okay. I'm gonna, I guess, kind of walk over there, and I'm gonna let you, Eurydice know that that's what I saw.
Okay.
And
Are you
I guess
walking around, or did you want to try to walk where you saw the bridge?
I think I'm gonna try and walk where I saw the bridge.
Okay. It stands firm. There is in fact an invisible bridge there.
So I'm just like floating over sewage to
Yes.
anyone else.
Yep.
Excellent.
Don't fall.
Okay. Guess I'll point out that there's a bridge here and see if if Eurydice wants to follow me, I'm gonna walk towards the square.
Okay.
See what happens.
You do so. You stand over there. It is in fact a square.
It's just a square. All right, cool.
It's just the floor.
Just the floor.
I'm gonna go with her, and I'm gonna like stomp on the square.
Okay, you stomp. It sounds like stone. Feels like stone.
Is this a like side that we've been on, or has it like previously not been available to us?
You've been able to get to this side, but like to get to it, you'd have to go pretty far around.
Okay.
And you're pretty close to like a ladder that leads out of the sewers from here.
But it's not the ladder we took down.
No, it would be a different one.
Should we go up the ladder? Should we, because we don't see anything on the walls or anything, right?
No, nothing out
just
of the
that
ordinary.
Section? Okay. Weird.
How about you guys think about it, and we'll rotate to the other pair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So Raina and Favyon, what's your plan?
I think we're going to, because it's the morning, right? Maybe we'll start our day a little bit slower, less action packed. Maybe we'll go to the market, grab like a little sweet treat, kind of walk around listening and like just watching to see different shops, some of the activities going on around them, seeing if like any of the windows or something are boarded up, just trying to listen to hearing people talk about any potential crimes or break-ins that's happening around the market.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So make a, I guess if you're listening, making a perception check.
Ooh, 12.
14.
Okay. You could hear some faint whispers, and eventually you hear some of the random people, whether they're shopkeepers or whatever else in the marketplace, you hear the whisper of, did you hear that the Wither and Bloom was broken into the other night? Not sure why you'd want to break into such a place. They only got alchemical ingredients. Not exactly high value stuff.
That's a magic card.
Wither and Bloom, it's a spell.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a spell from the Strixhaven
Oh.
source book.
I already knew that spell.
Yeah. The Wither and Bloom.
Shall we go look?
I think so.
We'll head that way.
Okay. Yeah, you can very easily find it. You've probably passed it a few times already in the city. But it's essentially like a little apothecary's shop. They've got a little sign hanging out front that says like Wither and Bloom. It's got some flowers that are growing around the sign. And you can go in and you see a tiny gnomish man that's just like sweeping up the shop. Since it's still pretty early, it looks like he's still kind of getting things set up for the day. But you come in, he's got the like very large round glasses on. He's got like very short, like spiky hair, and just, hello, welcome. If there's anything I can do to help you, just let me know.
We look around, but I feel like Raina nudges Favyon a little bit.
Favyon's already like looking around, looking at the different plants, whatever. And he's gonna turn around and say, "Oh, good morning, sir. We came in to take a look at some of your wares. When we came in, did we notice like were any of the windows boarded up or shattered, or does it look like it's kind of been cleaned up already?"
It looks like it's been cleaned up.
Okay. So then I'll just carry on by saying we've been, hearing around town that shops have been getting broken into, and it's such a shame when you have a shop as beautiful as yours.
You see, as soon as you mention shops getting broken into, he's immediately like, we were broken into several nights ago. I don't even know what caused it. What could people want? They're gonna steal some plants? I don't understand.
Was something stolen from you?
No. That's the strange part. There was nothing stolen as far as I'm aware. I checked all of my stock. I checked all of the plants. Nothing seems different. But the door itself was wide open when I got here in the morning.
Does it look like the intruder picked the lock, or was the door shattered? What happened?
The door was fine, but I mean there were small scratches around the keyhole. I assume someone used a lockpick of sorts to get in. But like I said, nothing was wrong. Things were scattered all over the place, mind you. I mean, I came in and some of the plants had been tipped over, which is a terrible thing because they're obviously they deserve all the love. They are beautiful natural creations, but they were just scattered all over the place. And some of our supplies, one of my bags of soil, ripped open, thrown across the room. These hooligans.
Is this like kids breaking in just to break in, or?
I don't know. I spoke to the guards and they said, yes, there's been a string of break-ins across the city, but usually they steal things. And I don't know why. Maybe they didn't steal something this time. Maybe it was a trick. Maybe they're trying to throw the guards off their scent. I don't know.
Have you noticed anything else going on around your shop, either a few days prior or after?
People loitering, or
no, not that I saw. Are you helping the guards to investigate?
No, but we're
thinking of setting up a business, and it's good to know these things before trying to move into somewhere.
Well, if you're trying to open up a business, I would be very careful. You don't want to get your things stolen or broken into. That would be very bad. Sometimes your soil just kicked around. It's not great.
What other shops have experienced this?
Quite a few of the shops on the main marketplace avenue here have been broken into the past few months or so. It's been getting worse and worse recently, but you know, the jewelry store around the corner had a break-in. The smithy over there had a break-in. There were several other stores. It's all of the other shops that were broken into, though, they were like broken into. Like someone kicked down the door or someone shattered the window. I suppose I should count myself lucky that they opened my door and just came in.
And did not take anything.
No, they did not take anything. They just caused a ruckus.
Do they normally? I can imagine someone coming into a jeweler shop and stealing all the jewels, or are these people just breaking in for fun of it?
I mean, things typically go missing. Yes, I don't understand why people would want to steal plants in the first place. I mean, you steal a plant and now you have to take care of it. That does not seem like a good trade. Like,
So the responsibility.
yeah, it's like a child, basically. They're the same thing, really, in my eyes. At this point, you see like a tiefling. His actual child. A tiefling man kind of comes around the corner of the shop, also with like a broom and like an apron in hand, and just. Oh, I didn't realize we had customers. Do you need help, sir? And he's like, no, I've got it, thank you. You can clean the shops. And the
Is this a boy or a girl?
boy,
Or
but he's like teenager, like
Yeah.
16, 17 maybe.
First, like, part-time job or something like that.
Yeah.
oh, what about you, lad? Have you heard anything else about these horrible break-ins?
Yes, I have. As he's like starts talking, the gnomish man is just like, well, if you're not going to sweep up, I will. There's still things to do. And he kind of like stomps off to the back and starts like sweeping behind the counter.
You have time to lean. You have time to clean.
And Jesus. And the tiefling.
People deserve a break as well, Raina.
Oh,
Life
yeah.
is so precious and short. Stay a while, have a smile. Let's get to chatting.
The young tiefling man. Just, yeah, there've been quite a few break-ins, actually. Was he... And he, like, lowers his voice and kind of, like, leans and he's like, was he telling you about the break-in here at all?
He had mentioned something about it,
Yeah.
but not. I don't think everything. Why? What did you see?
Let's just... The break-ins are a problem. Cirrus is, a little bit paranoid. He is fully confident someone broke into his shop, but he just left the door open that night and went home. I don't think it was a break-in. I do genuinely believe it was just kids causing a problem. And I feel it's taking away from the seriousness of some of the other break-ins.
Can I do an insight check?
Sure.
Please?
I would like to do one as well.
That's
This
fair.
guy really likes to roll a 10. 13.
Okay.
7.
It seems to be
Fail.
honest.
Well, what are the other break-ins? But I mean, he said some stuff was going missing, but we've also heard that shopkeeper lost his life.
Yeah, they've been getting worse and worse. Originally, it was only a trinket here and there being taken, and then it was entire like cash registers cleaned out, and then it eventually ended with most of a place's stock being taken, and the unfortunately the man who runs the leatherworks shop around the corner was murdered as people broke in and he attempted to get them out. But
This is horrible.
we are fortunate enough that there's no real value to be had in a lot of the plants. They're more sentimental for people. They're entertaining. You can't exactly flip some plants on the black market quite as easily unless you wanted to make potions or poisons, but none of our plants are capable of doing that.
Could someone think that your plants were?
It's a
Or you had the
possibility.
plants that were?
People are not very smart about plants. They don't know too much. I didn't know much when I started working either, if I'll be honest.
No.
What about the bag of soil that was ripped apart and thrown? How did that happen?
Make a persuasion check for me.
Not a persuasion check. This is where I'm gonna roll the 1.
You're so good at these, though.
No, it's a 15.
Okay.
I rolled another 10.
Jesus, bud. That's fine. He again, like, he looks over his shoulder at Cirrus, like, sweeping in the back, and he, like, whispers a little bit more and just, "Oh, that was my fault. I kicked it over and didn't notice." And he was like, "Oh, it's part of the break-in." I was like, "Yes, sir. Yes, it was."
Can I do an insight check on that?
Sure.
Yeah, we. God damn.
No. That time I rolled a 5, so 8.
13.
Seems to be telling the truth.
Damn.
Y'all are struggling with your rolls today. It's a good thing we're not in combat.
Oh, I know.
Look, I'm just warming up this die.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotta show it who's
It's
boss.
I could use the honker, but it would be very loud.
The honker.
She Lorge.
Bonkus bonkus.
In Lorge.
Gotta use that one for death saves.
Yeah, honestly.
All the important roles.
Okay. Anything else in the shop?
I'm just gonna thank him. Shake his hand. Tell okay, lad. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. We're not going to hinder you any longer. We would hate for you to get in trouble with your boss.
Appreciate that. But if you ever need any plants, you know where to find us.
Could you just point us in the direction of some of the places that were also broken into?
Yeah, he'll like point at a couple of different places. The 3 main ones that have been mentioned are there's a smithy, there's a jewelry store, and there's the leather, like the tannery.
And the tanner is where the guy
Got killed.
was killed.
Yep. Okay. So
Okay.
we'll switch back to the other crew, and then we'll come back to you guys investigating more shops. What's the sewer crew's plan? Sewer squad?
Well, part of my magic awareness is that if it's a spell, I can learn which school of magic it belongs to.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Please hold while I Google.
Understandable.
Like, I know what I want it to be, but I'm double checking to make sure that it's an actual school of magic in D&D, and I'm not just like
Making shit up?
yeah,
Like a scrub?
yeah. It's illusion.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. What was the other thing we were thinking of? Oh, we were gonna feel for like levers or buttons on the wall, or like
Okay.
weird spots on the floor. I know we technically like checked that before, but
Yeah, you can make another investigation check. That's fine. Eurydice will help, so you can have advantage.
Yes.
Oh, that'll be fun. Okay. Well, that's a 13.
You don't find any levers or buttons.
All right.
Eurydice is gonna try and write open in Thieves' Cant on the square.
Okay. You're just like scratching it into the stone?
Yeah.
Or you're just like writing with your finger on it?
Yeah, writing with my finger on it.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Oh, god damn it. Those were our only 2 ideas.
I mean, I guess I'll. The ladder like leads up to like a What are those called?
Like a manhole.
The little like, yeah, the little like manhole covers, right?
Yeah.
If I can, I like. Trying to decide if it would be, which would be more suspicious, like me peeking out and looking, or like the crow flying out of the sewers.
Probably you peeking at, well,
You know, like I guess because I want to see what area it's in and if it's like, is it like the main drag, or like can I?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to peek out, you
Yeah.
can.
can I roll an
Okay.
investigation check to see if there's anything that I'm just like missing?
Sure. So make a quick perception check, Ori. Or are you trying to stealth up there?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So roll a stealth
So,
and a perception.
Stealth and a
I
perception.
feel like we could swap, and I could be the sneaky one trying to like look up, and you could be the one looking around for other things. If you want
I mean, I rolled a 19 for stealth,
to. Then
so
that's fine.
It's pretty decent.
I rolled a 17.
will my
for
perception be that
investigation.
good? Yeah, no, my perception's garbage. That's a 6 on perception.
So you pop up out of the hole. You're pretty confident nobody saw you. Looking around, you notice you're in like a little alleyway of sorts, and you can't quite tell where exactly you are, but you can definitely hear like the sounds of the marketplace.
Okay.
So you can guess you're close to the marketplace, but you don't know exactly where.
Okay, I'm gonna, I guess, probably like go back down the ladder to chat with Eurydice to figure out like she saw something else, and then see if we should like leave or not.
Okay. In terms of her investigation around, you don't really find anything you missed.
Okay.
Everything seems pretty normal.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll have to wait till Lena comes back to ask
Yeah, she keeps disappearing
whether or not we
today.
should leave.
Okay. Well, while we're doing that, we'll shift to the other team then. Keep investigating. Okay.
Yep.
So where you guys want to go next?
I'll let Raina take the lead for this one.
Do we want to go to the smithy or the tannery where the man was killed? Or do we want to look at the other ones first?
I would be surprised if that shop was open, but maybe we can cruise by and see.
Let's go look. We can look by and then perhaps.
Sure. And if you want to go in, just lead the way. I'll follow you.
Cool. I guess I'll head that way.
Okay. So you're going to the tannery then?
Yeah, just going by.
Okay. Yeah, so going by, you can see that the windows are like boarded up. The door itself looks like it had been like broken off the hinges. And there's currently like a ribbon, kind of like, you know, like the caution tape that would cordon off like a crime scene is currently like set up in front of the door. But it doesn't appear that there's anybody inside.
But there's a lot of people out and about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll whisper to Favyon, perhaps we come by later.
Sure.
Which one's closest, the jewelry or the tannery? I mean, or the smithy from here?
From there, probably the smithy.
Alright. Go by the smithy.
Okay. Yep. So, you can easily go into the smithy. You see a dwarven man just kind of like banging away at an anvil as you walk in. And he looks up. He's like, "Hey, welcome to the smithy. My name's Smith. Let me know if you need help."
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
No. Mr. Smith is my father, please. Smithy.
Smithy Smithson.
Smithson. Look, I have to have some fun with the names.
Mm.
My name's Smith. I run the smithy.
Yeah, I feel like
I was gonna say it couldn't be like pronounced differently, like Smythe
No.
with a Y. No, okay,
No.
all right.
But the G is silent.
and that's an apostrophe in there.
Raina, would you like to take lead or would you like me to?
You talk better than I do, but there's a nice shop here.
Thank you. I try my best. Best smith you'll find in town.
Oh, good gracious, and I have no, hit an anvil or two.
Well, anyone can use an anvil. It takes skill to know how to use one.
That is true. This is very true.
I'm just like, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, totally go.
I was just going to like look through some of his wares and ask him like questions about them. Like what generally does he sell? How much time it takes for each piece, stuff like that.
Gotcha. So most of it is like iron and steel. You can see that he makes, there's like chainmail on the wall. There's even a set of plate mail on the wall. There's a lot of like weapons. Pretty much any type of weapon you could want is here. But it seems like that's kind of the specialty, is weapons and armor. And he would explain that each piece would take a different amount of time, just depending on what the client wants, what they're looking for, what it's made out of. Like, you want some fancy boots, they'll take a while. You want a dagger? Easy.
Sorry. This is a great stock here. We heard that you had a break-in recently. Did the thieves steal any of your work?
A little bit, yeah. There were not a ton, I imagine. If you're thieving, you probably don't want a ton of clinky metal armor. But a lot of my smaller weapons were taken. Some daggers, short swords, a couple of rapiers. Stuff that I could easily replace, but is expensive to do so.
How long ago was? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
But how long ago was this?
About a week and a half.
Lot of work to have to do. Sorry, friend.
That's all right. Luckily, none of it was commissioned work. Those are a pain in the ass.
Did you see who broke in? Do you live in the area? Did anyone see?
I live right upstairs. I heard the door break in.
Oh.
But by the time I was able to get down there, they'd already made off with most of the stuff.
Did you get a glimpse of them?
All I saw was someone wearing a cloak running out the door. Wasn't exactly gonna run after him in the streets. I don't think anybody wants to see a naked dwarf with a battle axe running down the road.
It's just like
People might be extra.
Did you see which direction they ran off in?
I just saw him run through the marketplace. Couldn't tell you exactly which way. They went out the door, just kept running.
I'm really sorry that happened to you, friend. Was it the dead of night,
Oh,
I'm assuming?
yeah, it was 2, maybe 3 in the morning.
I can't imagine the marketplace would be very busy at that time.
No, shops are closed. So wherever they were running to, they made off with some goods. But if you ever find someone who's got a smaller sword and it's got a little S on the hilt, that's mine.
Why did you go like slightly Australian there?
Because I don't know how to do accents.
Same.
I'm trying, bud. Trying to differentiate.
We will keep our eyes open.
Appreciate it.
Now,
Now, did you want to buy anything? You know, like gestured all the stuff up on the walls.
Your wares are incredibly impressive, and I'm not sure if I have the coin at the moment, but I will keep you in mind. Your work is incredible.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Saunter on out.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like once we're out, that I'm sure you'll notice, but the weapons that were stolen are rogue favorites.
I noted. Nothing was very heavy. Especially if one person was taking these.
Definitely not good at the bold enough for shop.
It is interesting though that was the door. They heard the door break,
Yeah.
so it wasn't just a lockpick. Yeah, it is odd that for taking so many rogue-esque weapons that they would break through the door. Not very roguish of them.
It could be perhaps an initiate, someone new to the guild has to prove themselves to the roses. Could also be someone trying to flame the roses.
True.
Or could,
True. You're
Yeah.
right.
shall we go to the jewelry shop, see what they have to say there?
Sure.
Cool. March on over.
Sure. Get over to the jewelry shop. Going into this one, when you walk in, there's an Asimar woman back behind the counter, and she sees you come in and just, welcome, come on in. We don't have a lot of stock at the moment, but if you see something that catches your eye, let me know.
Oh, what's happened to your stock?
Same thing that happens to everyone's stocks, my dear. Stolen in the middle of the night.
Oh, we have heard about some, bless you, robberies happening. It's horrible. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It could have been worse. We at least got left with some things.
It's not okay. We are genuinely sorry that happened. Describe what happened.
Well, I came through in the morning, and I walked in. I opened the door. I noticed that when I put my key in, the door was already unlocked. And I suppose not all, most of our supply was missing.
And I'm sure just due to the nature of what you sell, you have some pretty good security. I can imagine things being locked in a vault. How did they gain access to that?
I'm not sure. I imagine they had someone skilled in the art of picking locks. Honestly, I believe the only reason we left with any is I do hire a guard for the night. And I think that they were able to at least catch them in the act and save some of our stock. Could have been a lot worse.
no doubt. What did the guards see?
He said that he had someone snuck in. I'm sure it was more, but he only saw the one. By the time he caught him, it was already too late to save most of our things, but it said that it was a tall humanoid figure. It was dark, couldn't quite make out all the features, but said that he had a bag that he was just throwing supplies in, throwing in rings, necklaces, bracelets. Not a very big bag, but held everything relatively well enough. He attempted to fight his way out past my hired hand and slipped out into the night, unfortunately. I didn't witness any of this. This is what I was told, but...
How long ago was this?
This was about 2 weeks or so.
And what time did this happen?
Middle of the night. Must have been 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
It is terribly frightening and horrible.
Very thankful I was not here.
Your guards, is he still working, or?
Yes, I gave him a little bit of a raise for saving some of the stock. He still comes around every night. Usually, he's here. I start to close shop around 8 o'clock. He'll come around 7:30, stay until the morning, and then I'll take over once I unlock everything.
That's good that you still have that.
Yes.
Would you mind if we talk to him?
You're welcome to. He won't be in until tonight.
Sure, okay. I'm sure we can come back around sometime. Maybe give him our description so he doesn't think we are up to anything nefarious.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yes, I'll let him know. What were your names?
Favyon.
Raina.
A pleasure.
And your name?
Justice.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I appreciate you asking. It's become so common we tend to forget that it still affects people.
People don't think because, no one was hurt, but there's still fear and financial loss and all the things.
Yes.
Do your wares have any sign that they came from your shop, just in case they were to be found?
The things that I make, I put my signature on, but we also purchase jewelry to resell, so not everything's gonna have my signature on it.
You sell any magical items, magic jewelry?
We do, yes. A lot of that got taken. We still have a couple of pieces left if you're interested in something, but that, I think, was the prime target.
Understood. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. We looked around and your wares are wonderful, and we will keep them top of mind.
Thank you. You're always welcome back.
Thank you, Jess. We appreciate that.
Okay. And then we can, as you guys are leaving that shop, shift back over to our, what's it called? Sewer committee.
This square puzzle is not.
You mean you don't want the barbarian and the rogue to be dealing with the square puzzle, and not the paladin and artificer? You don't have to deal with it. You can go. You can go somewhere else.
I mean, I I was gonna ask Eurydice whether or not we wanted to go up the ladder because it seemed to be like in an alleyway and it was near the marketplace, but I didn't like
Yeah, we can go
really
investigate.
recognize it.
Like maybe there's thieves' cant up there.
Oh, I was gonna see what buildings were around. So
That's a
maybe
good
that.
idea too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
So we'll just have to mark where it is that we saw stuff so we could bring people back if we needed to.
Sure.
So yeah.
But once you go up the ladder and then start to walk around a little bit and like exit the alleyway that you're in, it's very noticeably just like right near the marketplace. It looks as though it's just kind of between a couple of larger shops. It's relatively nondescript for the most part. It's just kind of like like you could cut through it to get to the other side of the marketplace if you wanted to, but there's no doors or anything on the inside of these buildings, so it's just literally the space between two buildings.
Okay. Is there anything like on the walls, like graffiti or?
There'd be a little bit, but nothing
Noteworthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Which businesses are we between?
So you would actually be right between the jewelry store that the other two just came out of, and then a grocer's store, a place that has like foods.
Interesting. Would we see that Raina and Favyon are leaving?
Sure.
Like if we wandered out, would we just happen to meet up
Sure,
at the
why
same
not?
time? Perchance. Perchance.
Yeah, you can just meet up.
Okay.
We got a square. We got to show you guys.
Like a town square?
No.
I thought we were the city.
No, like an illusion of a
I'm not-
bridge
Oh,
in the sewer.
why would there be a bridge in the sewer?
I'm not a city planner. I wouldn't know.
Me either. You know what? That's good enough for me. Show me this square.
You can lead them
Public
to the
works are
square.
not my. All right. Yeah.
And we'll just explain to them like what we found out
Okay.
as we're sort of taking our
Yeah.
trip.
Okay. Interesting. I think it's interesting that this like exit with the bridge is right next to the jewelry store. that
I
was
also
robbed.
think that that's interesting and
Yeah.
highly suspicious.
Why would that be suspicious?
Favyon has never been down in sewers before or anywhere really this gross.
Mm-hmm.
He is not taking the lead. He is
I
kind of
guess
grossed out.
Ori probably would since they were the one that saw it. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can very easily, because it's almost like a straight shot. Like you go down the ladder and it's like right there.
Okay.
There's no noticeable square though. There's also no bridge. Like you can't see it.
Can I? So, Ori, where did you see this?
Can I still? No, I can't.
You could
I won't be
remember
able to see
where
it
it
unless
was.
I used. If I'm trying to, because I can use my magic awareness twice, but I'm not
But you know where it was.
for long rest. Yeah, so I think I was gonna try and like navigate back to it and like
Yeah, you could
like
very
step
easily.
out and like feel for it and then just float in the middle of the sewage
See a bridge.
just over top.
The square was there too, or was it just a bridge?
There was a square on the end where you guys are with the near the exit.
No, the square's on
Is
the
that
other
where you
side from
guys-
the exit.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's ladder, then bridge, then square.
Then square. So we would have seen the square first when we came up to it.
No, you were on the side with the ladder.
We were?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I was okay.
Yes.
I'm turned around in my mental map here. Okay.
Can I get to where she says the square was?
Yeah.
I'll go there and I want to cast Identify.
Okay. Let me look up the wording of Identify.
It says you choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use, and how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it.
That's a lot of information.
There's a lot of information.
Yeah. That's our first level spell.
Yeah. Okay. And you have your spell casting focus?
I am my spell casting focus.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Your armor is? Okay. Yeah, so you can touch the bricks. You learn that they are not magical, however, they are imbued with magic.
Okay.
And the spells that are affecting the item and what they are, if the item was created by a spell. So you don't learn. I'm trying to think, because this is technically not a spell in the book. Basically, it's just something. It's just something I made up. But it's very similar to the spell Sequester, in the sense that it's like keeping an object like hidden, but it's essentially a magical like trap door. Like if you speak a command word, the door will open. But you have no idea what the command word is because it can be set as the spell is cast.
Would you say this is a magic imbued object? That?
Trying to think. Because it's technically multiple objects. But I guess, yeah, like if we're saying like that, like the section of brick is a magically imbued object, sure.
Would you say I learn its properties and how to use them? But I would know.
So you would learn.
I would know.
Okay.
A word.
I like that. No.
Right.
I like that argument. Yeah, sure. You learn the command word.
Huzzah.
I don't know what the command word
It's
is.
huzzah?
Is it Elvish for friend?
It's melon.
No. It's super cataphragalistic expialidocious.
Humu numu numu apua ah.
We're gonna get to the Just Grows later. It's gonna be Mary Poppins. She'll be like, Poppin'.
She be out here popping caps in people's asses. But yeah, you would learn the command word. We'll say that
it just so happens to be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like we'll say it's like some form of exotic language. Maybe like, for your sake, it's Draconic. It's Draconic. Cool. But it's basically like just a password. It doesn't technically mean much. So it's probably Draconic for like applesauce.
Wow.
Trying to catch.
Yeah.
Trying to catch stuff that like people wouldn't normally say while in the sewers. So maybe applesauce is not the right one.
Wow, this thing smells like applesauce, but in I'll tell the group. I'm gonna say it in common though.
Okay.
That the password is applesauce, but in Draconic. But I say that in common.
Yeah. Does anybody else speak Draconic?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Don't let her eat your character sheet.
Let her do what she wants.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I would know how to say it if we want to get in, but I don't know if we want to go in right now.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys.
I don't think we are prepared quite yet.
I agree.
And if we go in without permission, I think that will set the tone for the rest of our encounters. Maybe we try a night to meet with them prior to breaking in to their domain.
No, I think that is good. I think perhaps we could break into the tannery later tonight. Look into that, see if we can notice anything. Perhaps. Did Ori explain how she found this? Like that she used a spell or an effect or something? I just have an ability. Like, did she say that? Oh, I have an ability or something that helps.
I think I feel like she wouldn't.
Okay.
I feel like she, like, unless someone asked her, she wouldn't, like, yeah.
Well, we can't see anything, right?
No. To you, it just looks like a normal stretch of sewers.
How did you find this, you guys?
Oh, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty aware of stuff.
Pretty
I mean,
aware of magic,
of-
one might say.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, could your awareness perhaps be helpful in looking in the tannery?
potentially, yeah. I think I could try tonight and see if it helps.
We could see if there was anything left behind or marks. Perhaps maybe even thieves' cant or something left there that kind of put it as a target.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys just want to, like, kill some time before night, then? Or what's the plan?
I mean,
sure.
Okay. Is there anything you want to do before?
I mean, is this-
oh, did we want to go talk to the guy? The night guardsman?
We can, but he doesn't start shift until 7:30.
I think, yeah, we can do that. We could go talk to him because I figured we're not going to, like, roll a little prime until much, much later.
Can do that.
Sure.
All right. So y'all just waiting around until 7:30?
I guess. I mean,
You can wander around the city. You can do whatever you want to do. It's up to you guys. I'm, like, struggling to make decisions today.
I think it doesn't matter. We don't have too much we need to go buy things.
Yeah.
So
All right. Then we wait until 7:30. Just doing who knows what.
Playing 20 questions.
Yeah, exactly. So you wait around 7:30. The marketplace starts to kind of close down. The shops are still open, but you can tell that people are getting ready to close down for the night. And you can go into the jewelry shop again, and you can see that Justice is in there. Looks like she's currently selling like a ring or a bracelet or something to a customer, and she kind of like gives you a little wave as you come in. And there's in the back of the shop there is a green dragonborn man, just like looks like he's kind of like putting armor on at the moment. And you notice that the armor itself it's not guards armor, like not like city guard. It looks like it's decorated with like the same details that the shop itself is. So there's a good chance that she owns the armor. So he's like putting it on once he comes into work, kind of a thing. But he doesn't really acknowledge you guys as you come in.
Ah, Justice, this must be your guardsman.
Yes, it is. Would you wanted to speak with him?
Oh, we did, sir. Favyon, nice to meet you, and I'll put out our hand.
He kind of like turns around, like you see he like finishes like buckling on like a chest plate and extends his hand. You can see that like green dragonborn, he's got like horns that kind of curl back on his head. And he is just kind of like shakes your hand, pretty firmly shakes your hand, and just, a pleasure, Favyon. Name's Marcus.
The pleasure is mine. I heard you had an encounter a few weeks back.
I did. Someone broke into the shop, stole some stuff, and I ran them off before they could steal the rest of it.
Just one someone? Or do you suspect multiple someones?
I suspect multiple, but I only saw the one. Because I assume you would need multiple people to carry all of those goods out, but there was only the one. Because they stole...
Can you do an insight check?
Sure. And he's like, they stole somewhere between 50 to 100 various necklaces and rings and things.
You said they were putting them into a bag?
I mean, I didn't, but I'm assuming
This
Justice
part,
told you.
the Justice.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes. They were just shoving them into a bag when I ran them out.
Did you get to look at the bag?
I mean, a little. It was small, probably couldn't hold more than a few pieces of jewelry in it. And he like holds up his hands. He's like, yeah, it's like this big, like purse-sized.
That's the size of a bag of holding?
Roughly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I figured as much, but...
Yeah, roughly.
How long have we been in the city?
At this point, you guys have been in the city, like, fully in the city, or like from when you first arrived?
When we first arrived.
I think you're about... I think it's been about 2 weeks.
That's crazy. Raina, you're part of a underworld, criminal organization.
Elena, number one in crime.
You say that in front of the guard?
No, I don't say that. That sounds suspiciously like a bag of holding, though.
I have
Definitely.
only ever really heard of those. I didn't really think they were that common, though.
They're not, but a certain type of people know how to make them.
Well, I don't think that really changes much, but it just means that maybe it was one person, throw them all into a bag, call it good.
When you came across them, what happened?
I found them. I came in from the back room, and I saw them shoving as much as they could into the bag that they were carrying. I pulled out my sword. He like pats the long sword on his hip. And I told them to halt, and they ran out the door. And I gave as much chase as I could. Running around in plate mail is not exactly easy when you're trying to catch up to someone who is in robes. But
Which way did they go?
I tried to chase them. They ran out into the market, and then they went around some corners. I lost them in an alleyway around the corner there. They're incredibly fast, apparently. By the time I rounded the corner, they were already gone.
Got it. Have you seen any other suspicious activity since then?
No,
Has anyone tried to come back in?
no, not since then. I'm hoping that they got scared enough that there was a guard that they left. And hopefully they won't be coming back.
That sounds very frightening. I'm glad you are okay.
I wasn't worried if it came to a fight, I'm not gonna lie.
Why is that?
What's someone with a dagger gonna do? I've got twice the reach they do.
True.
And do you know how they knocked the door down, or?
I didn't hear anything. Like I said, I was in the back room at the time, so they came in silently. Nothing was broken. But the locks had been open.
Can I do it in?
Sure.
It's a natural 3.
Ooh,
Ooh.
baby. Yeah. They can't really read much off of that.
That's so trusting. Interesting.
Okay, unless anyone has any additional questions for you, Marcus, we will get out of your way so you can start your shift.
I appreciate that. If I hear anything else, I'll let you know, though.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Justice, for letting us speak to your man.
Of course. He's his own man. He's just working.
Have a safe night.
You as well. Okay. Did you guys want to hit up the tannery?
Fabian does not want to break in. Fabian will wait.
Okay. Sounds good. What's everyone else want to do then?
Well, you know what? Why don't we look at least at the outside? We could look around. Perhaps there's a symbol, thieves' camp or something around.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone can make an
Look on the-
investigation check if you would like to search for symbols.
Oh, investigation?
Yeah.
19.
Okay.
That's going to be a 19 as well.
Ooh.
4.
Ooh, spicy.
So a
Oh
4.
my god.
Immediately, Fabian's going to give up and is going to walk away.
Okay.
It absolutely does not want to break.
We're not breaking in. We're just looking around.
Yeah, but I'm not dumb.
Actually was Raina's intent was just to look around at the outside.
Yeah, I figured we were just poking around outside of the building.
Yeah.
Did not think we were gonna go in.
Okay.
Raina did say something about going in before.
Yeah, but then you
Which
said
is,
no, and we're expecting that.
Okay. Does Favyon walk away then?
Oh yeah, he's gonna go smell some flowers.
Okay.
He'll be lookout. He'll like cough or something.
Okay. Sounds good. So for everybody else who's looking around, you don't find any thieves' cant, but you definitely find like evidence of a break-in. So
Yeah.
the windows that are boarded up, like you can see little shards of glass that are on the floor. It looks like there was a much bigger like struggle with this place than any of the other places that were broken into. And so far, you've seen 2 places that have claimed to have been lockpicked, and then one that had the door broken, and then this place, which is just absolutely devastated. So a lot going on, which is less than ideal, but...
And if I'm not mistaken, the break-in at the smithy was after the jewelry store,
Yes,
right?
that is correct.
So timeline-wise, which one's the most recent? It's this one, right?
This is the most recent one.
And how long ago did this one happen?
This was like right before the the festival.
Interesting.
I think it is strange that this assailant, assuming that they are the same, is getting more violent and is getting less sophisticated. You know, going from lockpicking to breaking down a door to what is that? It's odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a rogue. I mean, that is not something that you would do, right? Just break
It's-
down a door like that.
It's almost as if their mental faculties are loosening or they're getting more desperate for something that they're looking for because they're not taking everything.
And I know the flower shop one, the man said that, you know, the boy that worked there said that he had left it unlocked and that he had left the bag there. But I do wonder, perhaps, if whoever did get in there, if there was someone, perhaps they were just looking for something. You know, he also did say that people are not great with plants, and there could be some magical component that he perhaps or they or she thought was in the shop. If there even was a thief in that place.
Is there a pattern to the locations? Like, are they like in a circle or in a line, or are they just sort of like dotted all over?
They're kind of dotted all over.
Okay.
Are they near sewer entrances?
You can look around for some.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Good idea, yeah.
As you guys are doing that, though, what is everybody's passive perceptions?
13.
14.
Yeah, mine's also a 13.
13.
All right.
14.
Cool. So,
Don't
don't worry about it. So you start looking around. You find like a sewer entrance, but it seems like the one that's the closest is the one by the jewelry store because they're not like everywhere. But as this is going on, Favyon, how's your flower smelling coming?
He's having a great time. If there's people coming by, he's like chatting with them, trying to see what's up, talking about the sunset, how beautiful it is, how great it is to be alive. You know, just having a good time.
Okay. So, as all of this is going on, you start to notice that like there's fewer and fewer people in the streets. And eventually you just hear, as you're like kind of standing around, you hear a very faint voice nearby just say, "You shouldn't have gotten this close." And you feel a sharp pain in your side as a dagger just right through the plates of your armor. And I think that we can end there for today, as Favyon's getting stabbed in the kidneys.
Not the kidney.
Not the kidney.
Not the kidney.
They shouldn't have gotten the kidney.
Well, here, I guess, let me give you your damage first so we can jot that down for next time. Because it is a sneak attack.
Oh, god damn.
Am I over?
Elaine didn't like that.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to do my math. Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Yep. A 16.
Okay, you're good. You feel, as the dagger gets stabbed into you, you feel that there is poison on the dagger.
Aren't I already immune to
You
poison?
probably are. But you're able to shake it off anyway. So instead, you only take 19 piercing damage.
That almost... Oh,
Sneak attack.
he'll put out one very loud cough, but it sounds more like...
Like a
Yeah.
Turns out, sneak attack.
Oh no.
Very good.
Do we hear that?
Sure. We'll say that you do. But yeah, that's where we'll wrap things up for today.